Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. If this is your first time here, over here we are the Night Owls. If you have not hit that subscribe button, I want you to go ahead and do that right now. This is a channel where I talk about celebrity news and gossip and give my opinion on trending stories. But just know, keep in mind that over here, this is an acquired taste. You know what I'm saying? This ain't for everybody, so proceed with caution. But still hit that subscribe button. Anyways. All right. So hey girl, hey, how you doing? We are just getting started. There's gonna be more people that come into the room. But first and foremost, we have a special guest that recently went viral, and we're gonna be talking about that here today. So basically, Amora went viral when she took her children to the CPS office and gave them up to the system because unfortunately she could not take on the burden right now. So, or not burden, but she couldn't take on the task right now. So we're gonna get into that in a minute, but I want to give you guys a refresher on what the video I'm talking about is when she went viral, and then I'm gonna go directly to her to ask her some questions like that. People in the chat are saying that you look like Angel Reese, and I agree, y'all. I do.
I've been hearing that for months. I did not know who Angel Reese was until then.
Okay, so let me play a little bit of this video.
You're not going to always special things like blankets. When you get assigned a case for her, you can always work with her on that for him. For that. But if you don't mind, we'll go back to the lobby. If you don't mind sitting there, or you want to sit here, it's up to you.
It really don't matter, but because this is
how you're overwhelmed,
because I love them, and this is hard. Like this is killing me.
Yeah.
But it's for the better. Like it's for me to get my life better and focus on my schooling, my school, my health. Number one, my health, so I don't fucking die because I can't do shit for them if I'm dead. Yeah. I can't stop stressing if I don't have help. You know. So it's like. And it's like the dads didn't want to help me. They wanted to see me beat. I done lost everything so many fucking times. But you know what? Like I said, I'm going to come back for them. And as far as the whole foster home thing, like, will it be open? Will I still be able to like see them, bring them gifts and stuff? Like,
what they'll do is they'll set up visitation. Usually, agency or designation. Whatever the court order.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause it right there and bring Amora up and let's talk about it. So, hey Amora, how are you? Introduce yourself to the audience and let's get into this story because there has been a lot of conversation about it.
Hi everybody. So, as you guys know, I'm the girl from the video, Amora Lex. I hope everybody's day is going good. That's the best introduction I got.
Okay, so Amora, can you tell us a little bit about your situation and what brought you to that point where you said, you know what, I can't do this at this moment right now?
So, and I'm sorry if my voice cracks or if I tear up a little bit. So I've had enough. It was like, I've been a mom since I was, 15. So it's like, I've been struggling since I was 15. I'm 27 now. And, it's time for change. It's like every day I would wake up and I'm like, okay, we're at this time, at this moment anyway, like, okay, we're cool. We're fine. We're stable. It's not enough. We're still in the hood every day, every 5 minutes, sirens, I'm not comfortable where I am. And I want better for me. I want better for my kids, but mainly for my kids. And honestly, with obviously the fathers being absent, unfortunate, it happens in a lot of Black households, but, my son would take over the responsibility of, so he would help me. He would, watch them sometimes. And, I didn't like that because, for one, he's 11.
So your son will help you watch your other kids? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, like sometimes, like if I'm trying to do homework or if I'm cleaning or cooking, hey Keontae, I'm trying to cook real quick. Can you just kind of keep watching them and things like that? And I'm sorry, I had to kind of use an alias, kind of, hide his identity. So Um, but yeah, it's like it just really wasn't right. You know, him and his brother, they're like right back to back. So
Mm-hmm.
they deserve to have, you know, a childhood. You know, honestly, a lot of the reason why a lot of these young men actually go into the streets is because they're too busy at home watching their younger siblings. Honest, and we've all seen it. We all, you know, when you know, you know. So it was really just time for change. I wasn't comfortable. And then when we hit our hardship, and this was recently, what kind of like really just hit it, just took the cherry on everything. So, you know, working two jobs, my rent's 1,500. You know, I worked our way all the way up. I worked our way out of homelessness by ourselves. You know, so February we finally got a house, a really good house. You know, um, working two jobs, doing everything I can, and then here we go with the Welfare Office, Job and Family Services of Ohio. My case was active, but they took my kids off the off the daycare's roster, and obviously if they're not on the roster, they can't go to daycare. She's trying to contact them.
Wait. Slow down. Okay, so you said that who contacted you again?
The daycare lady, she
Okay,
contacted me. She's
you had
like,
a woman that was watching your kids in daycare, and then what happened?
JFS, they took them off the roster. Which those who don't know what I mean, like Job and Family Services. So obviously, you know, I'm in the hood. I'm on welfare. I get Title 20, which helps pays for childcare for single mothers or those who can afford it. So
Mhm.
she called me because, you know, with them being on her roster, that's how she gets paid. She ain't nobody about to watch five kids who's not getting paid. You know, it just is not happening. So she
Okay.
calls me, you know, she's like, hey, you know, the kids aren't on the roster. You know, they can't come. She's trying to get a hold of them. She's not getting through. I'm not getting a hold of them. I'm not getting through. And it's literally at this point, I was on hold for 3 hours, and then I did a callback request. I was even with the callback, I was still on hold for another 4 hours. Still didn't get through to nobody.
Mhm.
So I ended up actually losing both my jobs. And at that very same week, my landlord was having like new siding put on the house. Do you know that the people who was putting siding on my house, they caught my house on fire?
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, a lot of people really don't know because I didn't put too much of my information out there. And with them, you know, catching my house on fire, the job I was working at, which I'm not obviously going to name for obvious reasons, but you know, exclusively, oh goodness, exclusively work from home. So we don't have an office that we can do like a hybrid should it, you know, something like this happen. So I ended up losing that job, and you know, I'm reaching out to the landlord. Hey, I lost my job. Also lost $1,300 worth of food in the house. You know that I just put in, and it's not like I got the money though. That was food stamps. I got to wait to the next month to come to get that. You know.
Mhm.
So no job, no food, no place to go, you know. And when I, you know, I did have a little bit of money from when I was working. Um, that lasted a week.
Mhm.
Probably not even that, because probably about the fourth day in, I had to start, you know, DoorDash and trying to get some type of funds. And you literally have to DoorDash almost from sun up to sundown to even get $80. So
Mhm. So you did
yeah.
DoorDash as your now second job once you lost the other one?
No, so that was just my like my backup, because when I started door dashing, this is at this time where I had lost both jobs.
Mhm.
So I lost the work from home job. I want to say that was sometime before the
Oh, you said
29th.
you lost both jobs. Okay, I missed that part. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I lost both my jobs the same week. So I lost the one job because it was the work from home job. Um Not because of the kids or anything, but because they burnt my house. So
Mhm.
then I lost the other job right after, which I was like, you know, at first, you know, I was like, you know what? I still got one job, we're cool. Then that's when the daycare and the roster stuff happened. So I ended up losing that job. And I'm like, oh,
So
okay, well my rent's
sorry to cut you off, but how did your kids get taken off of the roster? Like how did that go? And how many kids do you have also?
I have five beautiful, amazing, intelligent kids. And honestly, they have not called, even still to this day, they have not called me back. I don't know what's going, like I don't know why they took them off the roster, because
So you don't
I
know who took them, you don't know like which agency, the agency took them off or the daycare took them off?
no, the agency. The
Okay.
agency took them off the roster, but nobody knows why. Because you know, I didn't have, because like, you know, like every so few months or years or whatever, you got to do like your redetermination and stuff like that. I didn't have to do the redetermination because I literally just got my Title 20 and my food stamps this January. So I didn't have anything to reapply
It
for.
was a miscommunication with the paperwork. Basically, they saying you're supposed to fill out something. You said you didn't have to.
No. So I'm saying with the Title 20 and the food stamps, I got those in January of this year.
Mhm.
So come now, February, March, April, goodness Jesus, April, come April, now they're taking me off the roster. But I know at this time I don't have like I don't have no paperwork or nothing to fill out because I just got my benefits, so I don't have nothing to do. I have to wait till that year
Right,
comes
right. No, I
to.
get that part. I get that part. But I'm saying, but what they were telling you was you still needed to fill out something, even though you felt like you had already turned everything in, right?
No, they haven't contacted me at all. Like literally, I have no idea why they took them off the roster. Because
Oh,
in
okay.
order for you, yeah, because in order for you to even get approved for your benefits, you already have to have all your paperwork and stuff turned in. Because if you
Hmm.
don't have their benefit, like all your paperwork and stuff turned in, they're not going to give you no benefits. So everything I know for sure was fine and dandy on my end, but which is nothing new. Everybody here in my city, our welfare system is so trash, it makes no sense. And honestly, it's really crazy because everybody will tell you they take people off, they take kids off of rosters, they take people off of whatever, they just do whatever they feel like they need to do whenever, because Lord knows, nobody knows.
Oh,
Nobody knows why they do what they do.
okay. So you had this situation where your kids get taken off the roster, so they're not able to go to daycare. You lose two jobs in 1 week, and
Yep.
then was that this week that you decided to give them up, or I think that was last week.
Yeah, last week. Yep. And that was, I want to say, probably a week after, or maybe like a half week after like everything just, I just couldn't take anymore. Like after a week, it was just like food is getting low. The landlord, because although he obviously knows I lost all my food, plus more than just that, obviously. So, um, with him not even trying to work with me on, reimbursing me anything, I'm like, hey, I don't even want the money. Just can we get some food for the day, or something. Like, these kids is hungry, so it's like, even with door dashing, and which also wasn't the best either, because driving with 500 hungry kids and we're door dashing other people's food, them, that food is getting to them, because it's getting to me too. So I know it was killing them. So,
Mhm.
we're getting all this good smelling food and stuff. And, we're not about to dig in nobody's bags or nothing, because that's just nasty. You just don't do certain
Right,
stuff.
right.
So it wasn't worth it. I was actually losing more trying to DoorDash than actually gaining, because it would take all day to make $80, but I probably already had to put 50 of that $80 into my gas tank.
So where were you guys sleeping at this time? So you said that your house burned down, you didn't have a job, and then you're driving around in your car to DoorDash with your kids. At the end of the day, when you're done DoorDashing, where are you guys sleeping at and what are you guys doing?
So a lot, like, we do have homeless shelters here in the city, but I did not utilize not a single one of them, because I've been there, done it before. They're
Mm.
not safe at all. Um, but as I do have family, because I made it. I wasn't trying to, but I was saying, like, family don't help me and things. They've been helping me since I was 15. It's just they really can't do it right now. So they were, with my sister, and it wasn't a lot of space for everybody. So as a mom, all the kids are in the house. There was, kind of somewhat space for me to sleep, but it was kind of tight. So,
Mhm.
I ain't gonna lie, the kids was in the house. I slept in my car for a week. I mean, I don't know if you can see, I just put my seats down and get me a blanket and a pillow, and sometimes I'm not gonna lie, the back of them seats are so hard. So sometimes I would sit right here in the driver's seat and either put my seat back, or sometimes I would sleep sitting up. It didn't matter to me. I wasn't outside no more, or I wasn't outside at all, actually, but I wasn't outside. And I've slept in abandoned buildings with my kids before, um, or I was pull an all nighter, staying up, keeping watch so they could sleep. I refuse to do that, and I'm not gonna put them through it again. I'm not gonna, we came too far to backtrack. So if I have to kind of separate from them for a little while I get ourselves together, well, get our finances and things together, then yeah.
Okay, so the number one question that people are asking or have asked in the chat, somebody says, how old is she? I believe she says she's 27. Um, they want to know, okay, so you have 5 children. How many fathers are there?
So there's three of them all together. The I don't The first one, I don't call him a father at all. I just say sperm donor, because that is actually the man who raped me from 15 to 18. And I've tried to reopen my case so many times. I've tried to get justice. I haven't got anything. But what I do have was my letter from Children's Services from when I was younger, during that whole thing. And they, hey, we have sexual abuse, for this young lady, and it's substantiated. We have clear evidence that this young lady is being sexually abused. I've tried to get justice so many times. But it's past the statute of limitations, and they're not trying to hear it.
Okay, so the first father is your abuser. What about the next two fathers that they have? And the first father, I'm guessing those are your older kids because he's
Yeah,
obviously.
the oldest two.
So how old is your oldest?
My oldest is 11. So my oldest was born in April. He's 11, and then the other one, he is a month after his well, before, but his birthday is in March. So they're literally right back to back, because when I got pregnant with my second child at that time, I didn't have time to heal. He forced himself on me again, and that's why they're back to back. I was literally still in my 6 weeks. Well, at that time, probably 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh, okay. Hopefully you getting therapy for all of that because that sounds like a very traumatic experience. Okay, so
It is, but I've kind of moved past it. It ain't kill me. It's only made me stronger in some way.
yeah,
I assume, I guess.
yeah, it's always good to basically continue to seek help, to make sure your mental is strong. Now, the next two children's fathers is that what is their stories?
So after I had, got away from my abuser, I spent a couple years by myself. I found my youngest son's dad, and he turned out to be a fucking monster. I'm just gonna just honestly put it just like that. He did not. When I met him, he told me he was everything that he wasn't.
Hmm.
He told me he had a job, he had a car, he had a house. Turns out the car he had was 2 days from repossession. Um, I mean, this isn't, like, I'm trying to think of how I could put it. This is like around the time I'm just now meeting him, but I'm not gonna lie, I can't even think how old I was. I was maybe 20, 21. I was really fucking stupid. But anyway, it turns out he actually just had a drug problem. So he ended up dying in 2020 of a drug overdose. And he actually had overdosed 3 months prior to that while I was in Florida. Um, so
Okay.
yeah, I was blamed for that one. So when I came back to Ohio and then he died again, I was blamed, of course, for that one too. That was 2020. That one's just where it's at. So then after he died, I spent a couple.
Let's pause at that one because there is a lot going on between you and the mom. I see on Facebook.
Yes, there is.
So can I pull up
I
her post and we talk about it?
yes,
Okay.
absolutely, yes. I actually went to clear the air on this one.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure I'm pulling up the right. Okay, so this is the post right here. So this is your last son's mother,
Grandmother
correct?
on the dad's side.
Yeah, so this is his, yeah, the
Yeah.
last son's dad's mom. Yeah, okay. So she's accusing you of killing her son and saying that you are responsible. But I'm gonna read through it really quick just to catch up the audience because it's a little bit small. So I'm gonna read it real quick and then I want to know what you have to say about it because I seen you guys kind of going back and forth on Facebook with her, making the accusation and things like that. So
Yeah.
let me read it and it says justice for Alex and hashtag jail for Amoralex, who is now exploiting these children, their fathers, and our family with lies in order to get publicity and money from the public. This is a grave effect of injustice, whereas her children, including my grandson, saw her M word, my son Alex. They're repeatedly traumatized and do not have the spiritual coping abilities I have by God's Holy Ghost. He is the keeper of my soul. Power 107.5, who helped her to do this great evil, were notified and sent evidence from me and others, strangers, about the M word of Alex and using them to exploit all of us. They continue to put this grave evil on YouTube and other places. Despite what she intends, God is allowing her to fill up her sins in this manner. incriminate herself, and execute his own justice. Hashtag God is hashtag justice for Alex and hashtag faithful. For those who are sending her money, she went back and took some of the kids. And I imagine that CPS did not allow her to take others due to an issue I cannot discuss, and that they would not fully disclose to me. However, my grandson is not on their case list and at this time, and he is presumed to be safe according to my daily prayers for him and his siblings. So she's saying that that child is not in CPS with the others.
So here is the gag. CPS has none of my kids. That's what nobody knows. Don't get me wrong, I don't have my kids, but CPS does not have custody. CPS actually never took custody. So they were actually thinking about taking custody. But when I talked to her and she was like, so like, what is really going on? What is your plan? Like, do you have a plan? And I was like telling her, because like, I'm not like a lazy mom. I'm actually, well, actually, that Friday, not this Friday, but last Friday, I actually just finished my last medical class. You know, I have to do my NHA exam and then my externship. So actually in 2 different colleges right now. So I was just like telling her everything that was going on and what my plan was to, you know, get us financially stable and, maintain it and, expand it or whatever. So they was just like looking at me like, we don't want to take these kids because we obviously see you fucking love them. And I'm sorry if I tear up or cry. Because though the kids are not with me, I do know where they are. I do see them every day. I have not perfect, but well, perfect, yes, but I do have communication with them every single day as well.
So
But
you gave them to a friend or family member, or they're with CPS, but you know which house placement they're at? I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
Yeah, no, I don't have a case with CPS at all. Once I talked to them that night, they gave my kids technically, like, I still have custody. I still have legal custody of my kids.
Okay.
I still have legal custody of my kids, but I did choose to place them elsewhere so that I can work and, chase these different ventures and try to sustain. Because honestly, I'm looking for generational wealth for me and my children. And even if it's not going to start off as generational wealth, stability and security is number one. That's all I'm chasing right now. So yeah, I do have custody of my kids. They're just not physically with me.
So you placed them with somebody, or did CPS? Because it sounds like you're saying
I did. I'm sorry. Yes, I did. They actually, once they realized, like, we're not about to take your kids from you because we obviously see you fucking love them. Like, um, so I still have custody. I did place them elsewhere. Um, I forgot what I was going to say. Shit. Yeah. No, the CPS didn't place them. I placed them. I chose where their placement is. So I know how safe they are. I know what's going on. And actually I made sure to, that where I placed them, there's not a problem with me picking them up, visiting them, taking them out for, ice cream or something. Although, not gonna lie, we haven't done that yet because I'm broke. So,
right.
But I have full control of my case, my kids, their placement. And where they are right now, they are very safe. And it's not a problem for me to go back for them. It's just they know what I'm trying to do. And my kids actually understand because as of right now, as you see, I'm the devil in everybody's eyes, but I'm the hero in my kids' eyes behind closed doors. And, yeah, like I said, they're not with me on the outside, like during the day and stuff. Of course, I'm going to act like I'm okay, especially those who are backlashing me. Why would I show you my pain? I've already given you enough. So like at night, but when I'm by myself, that's when it sets in, and hold on. That's when it gets the hardest. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have water or something? Take your time. I don't want you to get, you know.
These tears, they're not bad tears because regardless of how anybody looks, I didn't have no other option. Because also, and it's crazy. Anybody will do anything for clickbait, clout, or anything because like they're saying, I use my kids for clout. This was accidental viralness, to be honest. I only posted it is because I knew what I was doing was taking them to CPS. That was my cry for help, but I knew I needed help and I didn't have no other option. But I knew dealing with CPS, I know they like to twist things and lie. So I posted it because I only needed documentation. I didn't think it was going to go viral. I really did not. I just thought maybe like 20, 30 people was going to see it. And in my mind, I'm like, that's 20, 30 witnesses I got. That's, hear me tell this lady, I don't give a damn what y'all talking about and what hurdles y'all about to throw at me. As long as y'all know I'm coming back for these damn babies that I birthed, that I carried, that I went through pure hell with. I'm coming back for them. But in the meantime, I'm going to do what I have to do to, give us a better future.
Okay. I mean, I understand that, you are basically grinding to put them in position. So, someone in the chat said, um, what did they say? Hold on one second.
Oh, and we can revisit that, but I also do want to clarify the rumors between my son's dad and his death and all of that.
Okay, go ahead. Cause why is she accusing you of doing something like that?
So,
Or you guys doing, and I don't wanna be offensive to you in any way, but I'm just trying to figure out like what did she accuse like you of being on those drugs and then you got him on it? Or like why is she accusing
so
you of being the culprit of him passing away because of drugs?
honestly, I might not like her, and everybody grieves differently, but grief don't make you fucking retarded. My heart does go out to her because I don't know what it's like to lose a child and never can see him again. I know how I'm feeling with just having to voluntarily place my kids, elsewhere. So my heart does go out to her, but she really needs to grow the hell up. So I met her son in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
He overdosed in 2015, 2 years before I met him. Now 2017, I actually, which I can, if needed, I can post a picture of my hospital documentation or whatever. 2017, here we go, leaving the goddamn homeless shelter. I finally got my first rundown house, wires everywhere. So boom, somebody ended up breaking the house. My kids was upstairs asleep. I ended up getting raped on my couch. I dropped my kids off at my sister's house. I went to the hospital. Not gonna lie, I really didn't have no reason. It was just like, I don't know. I guess it's like I didn't have no self worth, or I just felt.
Wait,
I
wait, wait.
felt
I'm sorry.
sick.
I'm sorry. You said that you had a house and you were with him at the time, the guy, the baby daddy that passed away. You guys were in a relationship together, and then somebody broke into your house. Is that what you said?
No. So I'm saying with her son, I met him in 2017, which is the
Uh-huh.
same year that I was sexually assaulted. But he had overdosed on the same drugs that she's accusing me of getting him started on. He overdosed on those 2 years before I met him. And mind you, I started. Well, let me not say started. I
Okay.
experimented a couple times in 2017. I ain't went back since. But anyway, I did try the same week that I was sexually assaulted. Um, I actually was going to Fortis College, and they had given me time off to, just like you said, go seek that counseling and medical help. Not medical help, but the counseling and stuff like that. Um, they ended up actually using that situation against me and kicked me out of school, saying, "Well, because you had to go seek, like you missed your or what is it, final exams or something," which I thought was kind of weird because she told me I was, exempt from that and I can make it up. But anyway, I met him in 2017, so he was already doing those drugs. So when I met him that week that I was experimenting, actually I was buying it from
So you
him. And
guys
then,
met each other through doing drugs? Is that what you're saying?
yes, I met the shit buying it off of him. And that was my first time because I had met him through a mutual friend. And this was 2017. And
And what
when,
was the drug exactly?
this was cocaine.
Okay.
So, okay, I tried it and then it wasn't for me. It wasn't.
Mhm.
I don't know how the hell everybody wants to just stay up and energize the entire. I can't. No, fuck that. No. So I tried it. It wasn't for me. Honestly, I didn't have an actual reason to try it. I was just mentally going through something with, my sexual assault, and I was just like I said, I felt worthless. I kind of didn't care about my life or the repercussions or anything like that. I was just
You was just kind
trying
of
to do it.
coasting, really, like with life, basically coasting on by.
Pretty much, like I kind of like checked out. So I tried it, and then it was like after that week I was like, yeah, you can do that. So although after that, you know we continued to actually see each other, but after that it was like he was still doing it after that. I'm not even going to beat you, he was still doing it after that, but I was just at that time because I wasn't addicted to it because I only tried it, so it wasn't like something I was fiending for or anything like
Right.
that. So he was still doing it and he was selling it, but he was doing most of it. So yeah. Um, then he stopped. And then once he stopped, because I did inspire him to actually get clean. So he stopped for honestly, and I'm not going to, at least from my knowledge. So I'm not going to try to, beat down his effort or whatever. But from my knowledge, he actually was clean for a year. So that year, 2019 to 2020, when he died, is from my understanding is when he started it up again. But I didn't know because at that time I already had our son. I was actually working 16-hour shifts as a nurse's aide and stripping at that time, trying to make ends meet because I wasn't getting any help with him. Because not only was no, when he stopped doing coke, that's when he started drinking. But
Mm-hmm.
turns out I didn't know he already had a drinking problem too. So it's like he stopped one habit to start the other habit back up. And I didn't know any of this. And to be honest, personally, I don't, in some way, I can say, like, although I did it just that once or whatever you want to call it, I do felt like I did fail my son well before he was born because I chose who his dad was. That's who I chose to lay down with.
Mm-hmm.
Granted at that time I thought he had got clean, he was better. But he was still drinking and it wasn't like so heavy. It was kind of like a gradual, incline on that, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. I don't know if I said that wrong. So, once the drinking started, he was also physically and verbally abusive. He's gone to jail. I actually went to jail for the first and only time ever in my life. My son was 4 days old, for a 4 day old preemie, actually. And
Okay.
the
How long
reason
ago was this? When did this happen?
this was 2018 on Halloween night.
Okay. And this is a year after you met him because you said you met him in 2017?
Yeah, 2017. So then I got pregnant pretty quick. So, um, yeah. So it was like 2017. My son was born 2018, 2019. Yeah. So yeah. I'm sorry. What did you ask again?
I was saying, how long ago was this? You said that was your first and only time that you've been arrested?
Yeah, I was arrested in 2018. I was
Okay.
arrested on Halloween
You was
night,
in
and
the
that
middle
was.
of saying what happened.
I'm sorry. One more time.
I said you were in the middle of saying what happened.
Oh yeah. So my son at this time he was a 4 day old preemie. And it wasn't any fault of my own. It was just his. I just couldn't carry him. I'm really a tiny person. So um he was 4 days old. Dude, he was there for the birth. He was there. Well, he took us home and then he left and then he was gone for 3 days after that. So on that fourth day when he came to my apartment, because we didn't live together, I'm not stupid. I'm not putting no man on my lease who ain't helping me. So
Mhm.
he came to my house and he just smelled like liquor, like just straight liquor. He was slurring, just looked sloppy, and I'm not gonna lie, it pissed me off. And he oh, that's what it was. So my sister, she had hit me up and she was like, hey, grandma's passing out candy, just come bring the baby, you're still in the house. So he kind of comes in the process of me kind of getting ready to take the baby to my grandma's house so we can pass out candy. Mind you, the baby would have been in the house and stuff, of course. But
Mhm.
he comes in, he's drunk, he's stumbling, don't even know how to take care of a baby. He trying to start all this extra stuff. And I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what it was, how I don't know. He hit me and it's like I fucking snapped. Like I beat the dog shit out of him. I'm not the first and only time I beat the dog shit out this man. And I went to jail. And I'm like, how why am I going to jail for this man coming to my house trying to beat on me, but I beat his up fucking ass? Now I'm going to jail because his lip is busted. He got a black eye. He look ugly as
Okay.
fuck. Like it was just crazy.
And so
So
how long in between that incident when he came home, he's drunk, everything happened, you guys get in a fight, you go to jail. How long from then does he pass away?
mm, 2 years. My son was almost 2 when he died.
Okay, so take us to then. So fast forward, you go to jail in 2018. You guys get into it because he's extremely drunk. And then fast forward to the day that he died or what happened surrounding his death, the reason, like, why is the mom blaming you?
Ah, perfect. Now we're about to go ahead and hit gold. So for the one everybody's been waiting on. So the reason why his mom is accusing me now, obviously, we had a very, very, very toxic relationship. It was just toxic as hell. So, and everybody knows the relationship between a baby mom and a baby dad, especially the young and immature ones. You're gonna say and do things to hurt each other and stuff. And at that time, I could actually say, and I didn't actually really do too many, like I didn't cheat on him or anything like that. It was just I stayed too many times when I should have fucking left. But as far as surrounding his death and stuff, like, you know, you get into it, you're gonna say some foul, disrespectful shit, and and excuse me for my language, but when I get mad or irritated, I really do have a fly mouth, and I really can say some of the most off the wall disrespectful stuff. And it's just like, once you come for me, you open that door, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you what you wanted. But
Mhm.
anyway, I already knew what it was, because actually a couple days prior, and if you want, I could send you those screenshots of those messages. And he was just, I noticed at that time, like right before he died, it was obviously showing that he was back into drugs on top of drinking. So I kept telling him, like, when you love somebody, you fucking know, you feel that shit. I knew he was about to die, because when I looked at him, it's like, oh, I could just see, like, it was just like this darkness over him. It was just like I could see like death in his eyes, and he would just always be like, he'd be like, I'm tired. I'm just so tired. I don't want to be here no more. I'm just tired. And I'm like, it's probably the drugs, like, stop. So, and then
Mhm.
I remember the night that he died, like, just everything, you know.
Take your time.
I'm sorry, because, like, even though I do talk like hella shit, like, I really did love this man. Like, so when I talk shit, I guess it's probably because I don't think I've never really actually grieved his death, because, like, I didn't have time to grieve, because it went from straight to, you know, hearing that, because, let me just get back to it really quick. So anyway, he's there earlier that day. He takes my kids. They go to Chuck E. Cheese. He comes back. He brings me a rose. And we weren't together at that time. Like, we were still in like, we were in that stage, like, that in between. Like, you're not together, but you're together, but you're trying to figure it out. But you guys are still fucking and whatever.
Mhm.
So he brings me a rose. I'm mad because I can't remember what I was mad about. And oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, he brings me a rose. I'm mad. I'm like, I don't want the rose. So I took the fucking rose and I threw it. Like, I threw it like a fucking kid. So anyway, he leaves. He's gone for a couple hours, and I just all day was just like this weird feeling, and I'm like, what is this? Like, what is going on? So I kept hitting him up, like, hey, what are you doing today? What's going on? Because he was actually supposed to be coming back that night, because I had cooked family dinner and stuff like that. Mind you, I said we were trying to figure things out. So he
Mhm.
was supposed to come back. Now I was texting him from early that day to, like, I mean, like, from like 2 o'clock in the afternoon all the way. Like, we're keeping in like constant communication, sort of, kind of. So, we're talking to him from 2 o'clock in the afternoon all the way up until the moment that his cousin calls me and says, I found Alex in front of my house in his car. He's unresponsive. So anyway, I'm texting him, and I'm like, I don't like he really was a fucking monster. He done did some of the most dirtiest stuff to me. So I don't know if this was his surprise for me, his death, or if
Mhm.
that nigga really hated me, or if he really did have a surprise for me or something. Because he was just like, you know, I'm like, hey, I made the food or whatever. He's like, hey, I have a surprise for you, and he's like, I'm on my way home. Like, literally the last minute, like, he literally said he was on his way home, and I'm like, okay, I know where he's at right now. That's about 15 minutes. Now he has a cycle of saying I'm gonna be home, and then he doesn't show up for hours, and
Mhm.
sometimes he wouldn't even come until the next day. So, um, he would come like the next day or a couple hours. So, it was kind of like I said, I'm already used to the pattern. I already know what it is. And I already knew he was doing drugs and drinking. So I told him, I'm like, I'll send you these messages. I literally told him, I was like, I already know what the fuck you're doing. You're out there with a bitch in a bag and a bottle. Literally the three things: a bitch, a bag, and a bottle. And he was, and that was his downfall. And of course, because I already know what's going on, I'm getting mad at this point. It's like the more he's not responding, the more I'm getting mad, the more I'm getting worried at the same time. Because, like, in the messages, you'll see I'm going back and forth between being mad, kind of being angry, and I'm like, bro, okay, something's not right. Because even if I say, wow, this is really what you want to do, okay, cool, fuck you, he'll respond back or something, it was just nothing at all, just straight silent. So I'm like, okay, I was a little worked up, so I was like, you know what, there's nothing wrong with him, I'm used to it. So I'm like, forget it, I'm gonna just go to sleep. That entire night, I literally was tossing and turning. I just could not, like, I just felt like I couldn't breathe. I was just tossing and turning. And when I finally fell asleep at 3 o'clock. His cousin called me. It was probably 2:30 maybe. His cousin calls me, and mind you, I'm sleeping in the bed with my kids where I'm supposed to be. So
Mm-hmm.
she's like, hey, Lex, do you have Alex's mom's number? Now, at one point, me and his mom actually really did have a decent relationship, but she's very religious, and like, I don't mean to offend anybody when I say this, but we all know the term Jesus freak. Like, she's like, there's really something wrong with this lady, unfortunately. But, so I'm just like, she's like, hey, do you have Alex's mom's number? And I'm like, you know,
Okay, I'm gonna pause you. Hold on one second before you go any further. All
yeah,
right. So just to recap, because I was trying to follow along with everything that you
I
said, so
know
I
it's a
could
lot.
try to kind of keep track because there was a whole lot. So all right, so let me try to bring it back before you go forward. So you started out the day mad. You guys were mad at each other on the day that he died. You guys were beefing, like he was staying out for a couple of hours and he wasn't really returning your call. Then he came back, you said, and gave you a rose.
Well, yeah, so he had left, like, he had the kids with him. He had because I had two kids prior from my assault or whatever you would call it. So I had two kids prior plus his son. He took them all to Chuck E. Cheese, although the baby couldn't do anything, but he
Yeah,
took them to Chuck E. Cheese and stuff. And then he came back with a rose for me, a white rose. And honestly, I had that white rose because it was like one of the ones that was like encased and it doesn't go old or nothing. I've had that rose sitting up for about 3 years. I probably just threw it away about 4 months ago because
okay.
yeah, that was
Why'd you throw it away?
because although I did love him, but it was also just like it was a constant reminder that although I truly did love this man and I actually kept my promise to him, although it took a long time for me to realize that I kept my promise to him. I always told him, no matter what, I'm going to be there for you until I can't no more.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't know that because I wasn't allowed at his funeral. I didn't think that, I didn't keep my promise, but it turns out um, the 12 hours that I was blessedly able to have with him alone while he was on life support, while they're doing this and that, like, the 12 hours that I had alone in the hospital while his mom and sister got their hair done and makeup done so they can go up there. Yeah, that's the part they're not going to tell nobody. I said my goodbye. I said everything I needed to tell that man. And I told him, I said, it's okay if you can't hang on no more. And he couldn't hang on no more. And it was in that entire time that the 2 days that he spent on life support, the only time that he made any type of sign of life or anything is when somebody looked, and I love her to death. We're gonna call her Mama Fisher.
Mm-hmm.
She always had my kids for me when I would work or something. But she she said she was like she asked where I was. And that was the only time that man ever opened his eyes, did anything. He actually breathed one time on his own. And then after that, he flatlined. I mean, like, he flatlined. They came in trying to resuscitate him. They broke from, mind you, I wasn't there at this very moment because when his mom came after 12 hours, mind you, the whole 12 hours that I'm there by myself, I don't care if they went in and plucked the eyelash or if they rubbed his head. I don't give a shit what it was. I'm texting her. I'm calling her, letting her know, keeping them updated because I'm like, you guys are only 30 minutes from the hospital. Why is it taking y'all 12 hours to get here? He went into the hospital at 3 o'clock and they were getting there at almost 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Mind you, I had a bonnet on, a jacket, fucking a mismatch outfit, two different type of shoes on. They come in, they're dolled up, they looking nice, smelling good. I'm like,
And this
no
is
wonder
when
why
he
he
was
went
still
on
on life
drugs.
support.
This is why he is still on life support. Yes, why
Okay.
he is still on life support. And and one thing, and that's probably why they're mad, because they don't want me to talk, because I'm gonna definitely admit where I'm wrong, and I'm gonna take accountability for it. But I'm not gonna let y'all just throw me under the bus like y'all so perfect. I'm gonna definitely make sure I tell y'all's dirt too, because they're gonna try to paint this picture and whatever narrative. The narrative is, it is what it is, and we're gonna tell it exactly how it happened. I mean, it's the past. We can't change the past. We can't do anything. It's either we're gonna keep doing this back and forth, this pointless back and forth, because I've clearly moved on from it. Like, although yes, I do have the emotional trauma behind it, but yes, I have moved on from it. And I get it. It's her son. She can never move on from it. But even, mind you, it's 4 years ago, because even now they're everybody in my city, they're trying to get me to go to jail for it. I was already interviewed by detectives.
Okay, so that's the part that I'm keep missing something. I don't know what, like, I keep missing every
She
time, like, you tell it. I'm like, I don't know, something part is missing. So you
Yeah, here's the tea. So detectives, they came to my house because what she also won't tell nobody, that woman, not only did she also have my kids falsely taken from me, but she called children's services on me every single day. Detectives came out to my house because every day she was calling them from different numbers, different emails, and they literally was like, I don't know why she keeps making all these different numbers, because we know it's her. We obviously, it traces back to her. But detectives and FBI, and I'll if I can pull those emails up, I will go ahead and send those to you if you need those as well. But yes, they took over all my social media accounts, all my emails, my phone was tapped. They took everything. They also tracked the IP address from where we were talking. And mind you, because from the moment up until I got that phone call from his
Okay,
cousin saying that he
I'm
was.
sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay. Let's back up. Let's back up. Let's back up, because I
This
I keep still missing something. Okay, so let's rewind. So I'm trying to figure out, how did he get on life support, and why do they think that you did something? Was
Oh,
it
y'all,
because
I'm
you were the
sorry, I
last
really
one
do
with
talk
him
a
at the
lot.
hospital while he was on life? Did he die with just you and him at the hospital?
No, that man, he didn't die until 2 days after he got to the hospital, and I only had those 24 hours. I mean, goodness, not 24 hours. I only had those 12 hours with him. So when he died, I was not there. I was not present. In fact, the moment that he died, his mom texted me, "My son is dead, you piece of trash," and whatever else followed. But the reason why, like I said, when I was saying, like, we say things to each other that we don't mean, or that's fucked up or whatever. Um, I'm not gonna lie. At this point, I already had hatred for this man. Like, but I did love him. I can't explain it. I really can't. It was like a love hate type of thing. Man, I said some hurtful things, but he was already dead, so he didn't read it. So, but they read it, and that's why they think I had something to do with it. Because when he was in Florida, I was pissed off that he died, because I'm like, where is my son? So when I found out that he died, he left my son with his mom so he can go do drugs and died with a bitch instead of being there with my son. I'm not gonna lie. I told that nigga he should have died. Not even gonna beat y'all. That came out my mouth. I'm pretty sure they posted it. I told him he should have died. And
Okay,
then
wait. I'm sorry to keep pausing you. Okay,
no,
wait.
you're fine.
Okay, so because there's a part that just I keep missing it. Okay, so let me just breeze through the day one more time. Okay, so you guys were together. He took the kids to Chuck E. Cheese. He came back. He gave you a rose, right?
Yep.
Okay. So when he came back, you were mad because you had been trying to contact him and he didn't answer. Isn't that what you said?
No. I can't remember why I was mad at him. I'm saying, like, I was mad. Okay. He came back, gave me the rose. He left after that, but after he left, that's why I was getting mad, because I couldn't get in contact with him, or if I did before he died, it would be like really patchy.
Okay,
So he had kids.
Okay, wait there. Okay. So were you guys living together at this time? You guys were living together?
No, he's never been on my lease. I've never had any man on my lease.
Okay, so he lived somewhere, you lived somewhere. Okay, so
Yeah.
he came to your house to pick up all your kids, the kids that you had with him and the other children. He takes them to
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheese. He comes back. He gives you a rose. You talking trash to him, and then you throw the rose away. So once he leaves, does he leave with your kids, or he drops off all the kids to you when he gave you the rose?
Well, yeah, cause like, okay, he didn't live with me, but he didn't like he didn't have to come and pick up the kids because he was already there the night prior, like spending the night with me and stuff. So when he woke up, he took all the kids to Chuck E. Cheese. He came back, gave me the rose. I was mad about something, can't remember what it was to be honest. I threw the rose on the counter, and then eventually he does get me to calm down. We kind of chill a little bit, and then he leaves for the day to do God knows what. I mean, obviously I know now, but he leaves for the day, so he's gone for, I don't know. I'm talking to him from like 2 all the way to up until he stopped responding at like maybe 10, 11, 12. It was like late. Um, so yeah, he came, gave me the rose, and then we chilled a little bit. He left, and then I never saw him. Like, I never saw him when he left. I never saw him again until when I was in the hospital, if that
Okay.
makes sense.
So he's at your house the night before, y'all sleep over, and then he takes the kids to Chuck E. Cheese, comes back, gives you the rose, then you throw the rose away. So you guys chill for a little bit. So when he leaves all your kids there, and then he
Yep.
leaves, goes out all day.
Yeah. Then he, like, once he left, he was gone. Like, but when he left, mind you, can't remember what we were bickering about because I was mad about something about I don't remember what it was, but I know for sure I was mad about something from when we woke up that morning, and I still had the attitude when he came back from taking the kids from Chuck E. Cheese, because
Okay.
I don't know, I didn't know how to let shit go at that time. So when he comes back, I'm still mad about whatever happened in that morning or whatever.
Okay. So, all right. So then he goes, you guys are having spotty communication, then it just goes blank to where he's not responding at all at this point. So then
Hmm.
you say somebody contacts you and says that he was in their driveway.
No, so by this time, like around the time that he stopped responding, that's when I told you, I was like, oh well, he's not responding. I'm not stupid. I know what it was. He was either with a bitch, a bag, or a bottle.
Mhm.
So at this point, I'm texting him hateful things like, I know you're with a bitch, a bag, and a bottle. Fuck you. I'm gonna piss on your dad's grave. Like, I'm saying some foul ass shit. I'm not even gonna beat you. I'm saying some foul ass shit because I'm coming from a hurt ass place, and I ain't the one. I don't know how to take hurt. At least I didn't know how to take hurt. So when it got bad, it got bad. Not just because of me. But so at this point, he's not responding. I'm like, okay, I'm going back and forth between, being angry and worried at the same time. So when I finally do just kind of like, what, whatever, I go to sleep because, this is a pattern of his of saying he's coming back and then he doesn't come back or something. That's why we were kind of in the position we were in anyway, because
Right,
of his
right.
infidelity and stuff. So, you know, I finally go to sleep, and at probably like 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning, his cousin calls me, and he's in his car, not in the driveway because she didn't have a driveway. So like he's parked on the street. Now she already said like when she left, because I'm not gonna put any of her information out, but when she left, she was leaving to handle business, and this was she said it was 10 o'clock. So when she came back at 3 o'clock, well, no, when she left at 10, my baby dad, which is Alex, and her son were outside doing, I guess what they were doing or whatever. So when she came back at like 3 something in the morning from doing, finishing her job and stuff, she's like, Alex is still in the car, but her son is in the house, sick as fuck. So
Mhm.
when she realized, something ain't right, she went to go check on Alex. She said that, the window was cracked. He wasn't. I'm gonna tell you something too. She was like, the window's cracked. He's not responding. He's not waking up or nothing. When she called me, I'm sleeping. So she's like, oh, what's Alex's mom's number? I
Mhm.
told her I'm half asleep. I'm not registering nothing. I don't know nothing at this point. So I'm like, well, Alex was supposed to be home a couple hours ago, and he's not responding. So I'll try to call him again. Excuse me. And she didn't really say it just yet, but she was like, no, that's why I need his mom's number because he's not responding. So I'm like, I know he's not responding. I tried to call him earlier. So I'm like, I could try it again. And she was like, no, Lex, he's not responding. Like, something's wrong. He's dead, Lex. So I'm already, like I said, she woke me up out of my sleep. So I, I didn't have a car, no, nothing at this point. I swear, when she told me that, I knocked on every neighbor's door, even the ones I didn't know. I'm like, somebody gonna take me to this damn hospital, like right now. So that's how I found out that he died. So when I went up to the hospital, it's mind you, I told you how I already felt like he was about to die. I kind of just seen it because I was telling him the messages like I'm worried. Please just come home. Just stay in the house. Like just chill. Um. So and it was like one of them. It was like one of the moments like you only see on the movies. You go into the hospital. And it felt like this dude was driving so slow. It felt like it took 3 hours to get to the hospital. Like it felt forever. I finally get there. I walk in. I'm already fucking crying because I just found out like he's not responding or. So I walk in the hospital looking a hot fucking mess. I'm like, hey, I'm here to see Alex. They're asking me who I am, and I said I'm his girlfriend, but also told them that I was his fiance because we literally at that moment, like we okay, so he actually has a big, big tattoo of me, like right here on his arm. And me and him always had this thing. Remember that I told you about that promise I made him that I would hold you down until I can't no more or be there for you?
Right.
So it's crazy because like his name is Alex. My real name is Alexis. I go by Amora or Lex, so Amora Lex, which is Amora is beautiful in Spanish. So beautiful Lex. So my name is Alexis. His name is Alex. My birthday is 11/21. His is 11/12. So,
Okay.
we low key like always told each other like we had like them infinity links type shit. So, we always used to say forever and always. So anyway, around the time that he died, me and him was talking about marriage. I found out from his sister the very last thing that he said to her was, "How would you feel if me and Alexis got married?" Because he actually only has one sibling who can actually see I'm really not all as bad as the other ones. Now the other ones, I'm not gonna lie, they're fucking brainwashed. And I'm not even trying to be on here bashing because that's not really what I'm trying to do at all, regardless of what she's trying to do to me and my character and stuff. But the truth can never be a diss. This fucking psycho. Like she needs help and fucking exorcism at least.
So what is she saying? Because okay, so if you wasn't with him when he died, you wasn't there by the car. What is she telling you that she thinks that you did? Do she think that you gave him the drugs or what? Like what do she?
So
Because
I
somebody
don't know. I guess
said something about an IV bag, injecting something in an IV bag. I don't.
who the fuck has access to an IV bag?
I don't
I
know.
don't look that I ain't never heard
I'm
that
trying to
one.
figure out what is exactly when she accused you of being the person to do it. What did she say that you did?
Because okay, remember I was telling you like the fucked up shit that I was saying when I like when he wasn't responding. So it was all of that stupid stuff, but also remember I told you when I was in Florida and he overdosed and I told him that he should have died. Don't get me wrong, I was coming from a hurt place when I said it, but I was also telling him some true shit. And I said there won't be a next time. You're gonna die next time, and I wasn't lying because look at not trying to sound rude or nothing, but look where we at. They're really the next time happened. Next time came and went. So that's why she thinks I killed him because I got a slick ass mouth, but I'm gonna tell him the truth. And I told him there won't be a next time, and I wasn't lying.
Okay.
That's just the reality of drug users.
Because she feels like each time he had an experience where he was almost dead the last time, and then this time he actually died, you kind of were intertwined in that is what her beef is. And because also too, because you were saying very mean things to him, saying that you wished that he did die and all that. So that's why you.
Yeah, and that was also like one of them things like how can I put it? You know how you ever heard like you're gonna bite the bullet or something like that. It was like I'm not. It was one of them things where I learned the hard way that you don't say shit that you don't mean, because granted, I didn't know he was already dead when I was texting him this shit, but you just don't mean you
So
don't
what
say shit
exactly
you
were
don't
you
mean.
saying when you texted him that they are like, what did you, so okay, so he at the time he passed, he's dead. And then you were texting him when he was in the hospital? Is that what it is?
No. So remember how I told you he was supposed to be coming home and stuff, and he's like, I got a surprise for you. And after he said I got a surprise for you, that's when he stopped responding.
Okay.
So when I'm still texting him, I didn't know that he had already so there's actually a picture.
Well, no, okay, so hold on, let me pause you. Sorry.
No,
Okay,
you're fine.
okay, so you said that you seen him in the hospital. And then 2 days later, he died. So that's why I'm trying to figure out when did these texts happened? These texts happened before he went to the hospital?
Yeah, so the text happened while he was already unresponsive in his car, but nobody literally at the time that I'm texting him, not
Mhm.
even me, his cousin, nobody knows that this man is already in his car dead. Nobody knows.
Okay.
Or, brain he he's breathing, but he's not there. His brain already lost too much oxygen or whatever you want to call it. So he's just brain dead. Nobody knew that this man was like already dead in his car when I'm texting him this. So in my mind, from because I'm not there with him, so in my mind I'm thinking he's doing the usual, ignoring me because he's out doing the extra fucking most. But in
Mhm.
reality, he was already fucking dead because he was out there doing the most. If
Okay,
that makes sense.
so before he goes to the hospital and gets transported because he's non-responsive, what are you texting him exactly? What are you saying?
Ooh, I promise you, it's like I vividly remember, but it's also 4 years ago. But I'm just like texting him literally.
Something along the
This
lines of, just say like I said, something
uh
along the lines of XYZ.
oh well, something along the lines of "fuck you. I hope you die. I'm gonna piss on your grave. I'm gonna piss on your dad's grave. I know you're doing the fucking most. After we was just getting to a good place. I know you're out there with a bitch in a bottle, and a bitch, a bottle, in a bag. Because
Mm.
the bag, when I say a bag, I mean the bag of coke. Because and the other reason why I have not gone to jail, because I told you the FBI, they took a hold of anything that had my name attached to it. They overtook it. But the reason I also didn't go to jail is because his toxicology report came back as nothing but cocaine and fentanyl in his system. And his cousin had also taken a picture of when she found him, and his head was laid back in the seat, and he had the bag of coke in his hand. That's
Okay.
why I ain't go to jail, because I ain't did it. I ain't do it.
Okay.
And
So because you had those text messages and then he died at the same time that you're sending them, they wanted to investigate to see like whether it was you that
yep.
gave him the fentanyl or if it was you that caused it.
So the reason why they investigated, because obviously, they don't know what's going on, but everybody's saying, well, this person did it. So, they're obviously going to investigate me because I'm the number one suspect by word of mouth. But as far as they're concerned, all evidence and all proof, because, not only did they have to look at my phone and all my internet, I mean, not internet, but, all of my social media and emails and stuff like that. They also had to look at his phone too and find out what he was doing leading up. So they could see that at the time, that around the time he bought the drugs, who he bought the drugs from, because also that lady is actually in jail for selling him the drugs that he died on. Yeah, no,
Somebody is in jail taking responsibility for him.
yeah, but she not telling nobody that. Yes. So honestly, and the reality of it is, I didn't kill the man. He did that shit to himself, and she sold it to him. So she's already in jail because, like I said, they had to look at his phone where he bought the drugs when. But also when they pinged my IP address and looked at all the locations and all of that stuff, I'm all the way on the west side of the city. I mean, like far west side. I mean, like Galloway, damn near a whole different city from where he's at. He's way out east, and they're looking at the times from the satellites, and obviously they got the messages that he bought the drugs from her. And also, which I don't know why his mom keeps saying I did it, because the same person that he bought the drugs from him, which actually did deliver the actual fatal dose of fentanyl, is the same fucking person he bought the shit from when I was in Florida. You went back to the same person who sold you the fentanyl the first time. That's fool me once, shame on you. Fool, you already know how that saying going. He did that shit to himself. And his mom, because she is so religious and kind of brainwashed and like a Jesus freak and all this other stuff, she, for one, nobody wants to accept that their son was a crackhead or a drug head or whatever. But that's really just the reality of it. I don't want to. Of course, I'm gonna, not be so rude when I tell my son, because my son, I do want him to know that he really did love that little boy. He did love you, your dad. He was there every now and then, or the best he could and stuff like that. He really did love you, but and I'm gonna make sure, because it's on his death certificate, and a drug overdose, and like the coroner's report. I have the actual legal official document, so the coroner's report also outlines overdose. And like I said, she just doesn't want to accept it. But because around the time me and him was beefing when he died, I was also beefing with her because I was beefing with him. And it's easier to place the blame on somebody else than to accept that hurt that your son, you know, you want somebody to blame. I wanted somebody to fucking blame. Shit, I still be trying to wanting people to blame, because even though I still hear stories and different stories, well, you know, from different people who say they were there that night. Mind you, I wasn't there, so I really don't know. You know, some people say this other girl did it, but the facts are the facts is they already got somebody in jail for who sold
So
them the
they was
drugs.
accusing another girl too of it, but then there's somebody else who went to jail.
So it's only one person who went to jail behind the whole thing, but there is another girl that his cousin saying that was there too. And I'm not gonna put her name. I really don't even know this chick's real name because I'm not gonna lie, because she actually just went to jail for murdering somebody. And I ain't. I mean, look, I ain't trying to shoot the messenger, but oh, Buddy died the same way my baby dad died. So she either set him up and bought the drugs with from the old girl that sold it to him. Like them three either was working together, or he was just fucking stupid and bought the fucking drugs and bought the same shit from somebody who fucked him up the first time. Because when he bought the accidental fentanyl the second time from the same dumbass who sold it to him the first time,
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't even fully healed, like nerve wise and all the other stuff. So he should have known trying to go back to any type of drug when you could barely breathe still. It was, I don't know. But it's
Okay.
easier to blame somebody you don't like than to accept the fact that, you know, he had a drug problem. And it's okay. I'll do that because I already have all my receipts. I'm not in jail.
All right. Sounds like a lot, and I hope again that you are getting therapy for all of this because this is a whole lot that you have been through. So
Yeah.
that was okay. So we talked about the first baby daddy and the last baby daddy. So what's the deal with the baby daddy for the kids in the middle, the third one?
Oh no. So we talked about the oldest baby dad and then the middle one. The youngest ones is the one who we didn't get to, and that's the twins dad.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Now him. So yeah, a lot of people be like, "Oh, why do you ain't get an abortion?" Or da, da, da. Let me tell you the story about him, right? So, mind you, remember when I told you that that old dude's mom is the same one who got my kids falsely taken, you know, from Children's Services because she was literally calling in every day. Now here in Ohio, even if because mind you, every time she called, they have no choice but to come out because it's a report of a neglect or whatever. They have to investigate it. So, excuse me. Every time they came out to investigate, you okay, how can I put it? Children's Services works this way. They come out, if there's an issue, they open the case. If there's nothing, they don't open it. It's just called like litigation or investigation stage or whatever. So that doesn't mean you have an open case. So anybody who does get CPS called them, just because they show up at your house, until they say they're transferring it to ongoing services, you do not have an open case. So anyway, um, so she called Children's Services on me, and this was also around that time where COVID was a huge thing. So
Mhm.
at the same time that she was calling Children's Services on me every day, saying I killed her son and all type of crazy ass shit, like bro, I cannot. This bitch is dumb. So anyway, this do you remember when I don't know if they were doing it where you are, but they had took all the kids out of school, said here take some computers. I mean computers,
Yeah,
Jesus.
that was during COVID. Yeah.
Okay, so they was doing it down there too. Okay, well,
Mhm.
yeah, so they was doing it here, and of course, this is everybody's first go around with COVID. Nobody really knows nothing was going on. It's just chaotic. So, you know, my landlord is saying at the same time, like they was also saying nobody has to pay rent because obviously can't nobody work. So, I don't know how the shit really works. So my landlord at that time was still saying, hey, although can't nobody, long story short, you still got to fucking pay your rent or leave. So, me not really me not really knowing, this stuff was going on with COVID and stuff, I'm not about to lose everything, so I chose to go to work because I didn't have nobody who could, do that on camera time. I chose to go to work, keep my bills paid, keep a roof over our house. And I'm like, okay, it's cool. I graduated from online school. So I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go to work. I'm gonna teach them the material when we get home. They're gonna miss the on-screen time, but they were turning in their homework. But because it was the on-screen time that they needed to have, they filed truancy. So of course, when truancy is filed, Children's Services is notified. So Children's Services went to court. They was like, well, she has all these calls on her, although none of them were open cases and they were all found to be false, or like nothing concerning was happening. There was like, oh, well, she has all these false calls or whatever, and now she has truancy. Something has to be going on. Take her kids. So they took my kids.
Who had wait, slow down, slow down. Okay, so wait, you telling me about the time that the mom called CPS on you? Is that what you're telling
No,
me?
so I'm telling you the time that, like, I'm kind of rewinding it back, trying to make sure you stay in the timeline of how I met the girl's dad, how things transpired, and what led me up to meeting the girl's dad. That in
Okay.
between. So yeah, long story short, when old buddy died, the mom went nuts, had my kids taken from me. Um, so at this time, like I
Who
was going
had
through it.
truancy though? Like your kids, they missed too many days of school?
No, they were missing the computer time because I was still going to work, but I was having them turn in their homework because I didn't know if I was actually still going to be evicted or not because
Right.
I
So
mind you I didn't know about the COVID.
they were missing virtual school.
Yeah, they were missing the
Okay.
camera time and stuff. So they was just like, like the homework's not sufficient enough to, turn in because who's to say you're really teaching them? But they weren't getting bad grades on their homework either, so they got to be learning something. But anyway, they took my kids because they weren't getting the on camera time, as well as the,
So
the
how long were they not going to virtual school?
um. I want to say at this point, it was probably about a month. I'm not gonna lie, because like I said, I didn't have nobody to sit at the house with them to do the on screen time. Because
So
at
they
this
were
time they
watching themselves? Is that what you're saying?
no, at this point, I did actually still have daycare because I was, I work with people who work out of their home because I don't do public daycares because that's just it
Okay.
needs to be trifling and dirty and stuff. Um, so they still had a lady that they were going to, but it was just she couldn't do. How can I put it? You can't take your kids to daycare outside of when like you ain't going to work, they don't need to be at daycare pretty much. So
Mhm.
which wasn't a problem, I wasn't doing anything anyway. So it was just the timing that I had to be at work and the timing with their schooling, it didn't, they
But I'm
overlapped, I
saying the
guess.
people that you left them with, they couldn't turn on the computer because they
Well,
were being watched. You said by somebody they couldn't turn on the computer. I'm
so with this lady, like she has other kids. So how can I put it, she couldn't like sit down and do what she had to do with them because she had other kids, and it's just not a place where they could sit and focus, and so I tried to do it with that, but with COVID and stuff, it just wasn't working. She's an older lady, like somebody's great auntie, she ain't really tech savvy for real. So it was
okay.
like,
So
okay.
okay, so basically, so it's about a month. So it's about a month. The son, the her son dies, and your children are missing virtual school for a month, and then she flips out and calls CPS on you and gets them taken.
No, 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 no. So my kids didn't get taken from me until a year after he died. So that entire year after he died, every day, and if it wasn't every day, it was every other day or every week, but like literally
Mhm.
faithfully, faithfully was calling CPS on me. So, and actually at one point, it's a couple times that, because at one point they were saying, kids couldn't get COVID and stuff like that. She's like, which I don't even know. I posted, y'all really gonna have to go to this girl's page and then go to my page and look at my old posts and stuff, because she's really fucking weird. So anyway, my son had allergies and stuff, and I was like, oh, poor baby. I posted that my son was, he had allergies and stuff. She called CPS, told them that my son had fucking COVID, and I refused to give him medical care. And this is a time that study showed that kids couldn't get COVID, especially kids of his age. Mind you, he was like,
Mhm.
my son was almost 2 when his dad died. So, or no, almost 1. So he was almost 2 when they took him. So, um, yeah, she would do stupid stuff like that, and then she would call him and lie, say that my son had cigarette burns, and like when I tell you, that's what I'm going to do. Monday, I'm going to just get all the calls that this girl did, because you can actually get your record. Don't let them lie to y'all and say y'all can't. Y'all can get y'all's records. I've done it before. But yeah, she just kept every day or just every single time. And actually one time I actually had a caseworker sitting. I had a caseworker sitting on my couch talking to me about one of the allegations that she had called about and whatever. They called her cell phone while she's talking to me, saying they got another call in.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Mhm.
while I'm literally talking to her, they're like, we just got another report. And they're asking her, and she's like, no, I'm sitting here. And for a while, it was like literally the same caseworker that came out every single time. And I was just like, Hey, girl.
Okay,
Like, it
so
was literally like that.
so when your kids got took
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
for her falsely calling, how
Hmm.
long were they took and how long did it take you to get them back till now we're here?
So it took me a year and a half to get them back. It took me a year and a half to get them back, and I'm not going to lie, that was also kind of like a fault of my own a little bit, because when they came to give me the news, like, hey, we're taking your kids, they came with the cops.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't stop me from flipping out. Like, I almost went to jail that day. Like, everybody was about to get touched that day. So, and also, because I ain't gonna lie, I definitely, because the little bitch downstairs, she had also called on me too, and I found that out too. So when the caseworkers and the cops was there, I ain't gonna lie, I tried to bust that bitch door down and beat her ass and shit. I ain't give a fuck.
Somebody that lived in the apartments you lived in?
Yep. It was actually at that time my best friend.
Oh, and she called CPS on you too?
Yeah, because um and this stupid bitch, and she's actually dead now.
You said she's dead? You went out. I can't hear you. Hello, hello, hello. Uh Amor, are you there? Okay, let me try to get her back. Hold on. Hold on, let me try to get her back. In the meantime, I'll play. Hold on. Hold on, let me get the link. Maybe her phone died. I don't know. But I don't know if it's late for me, if I'm sleepy or.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
Somebody called me and it messed up everything on my end. So I do apologize about that. My phone is back on do not disturb. Um
okay.
I do apologize about that, y'all. Where was I saying? What was I saying?
Okay, so you were saying that you were saying you were talking about the mom, I think, with the kids, how long the kids were gone?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You took
Um
you a year and a half to get them back?
oh, yeah, because I ended up, like,
Oh,
when they
no, wait, wait, wait. You
no,
were
I
talking
remember the
about how the
bitch
girl
downstairs.
downstairs had called CPS on you too.
Yeah. So she actually
And
was
then you
my
said she
best friend.
died. She dead now too.
Yeah, oh, that's what it was. Yeah, she did. Um so she had and this it was one of them days
How
I
did
had
she
literally,
die? How did she die?
shit, I don't know. It was just like one of them days I had just came outside for that day, and I don't know, like, her and her dude had just, like, literally, like, I'm out there with them, just came outside, because where I was living at that time, like, I was kind of like the it girl. So it was like everybody wanted to see me, because, like, I'm so nurturing and kind and stuff like that when nobody pisses me off. Like, I'm so caring and giving. So,
Mhm.
um, I was kind of like the it girl out there. So it's like, I kind of look out my window, see what's going on, see who's out there. Didn't even get to do it on the slide, because here we go, Lex, hey girl, come out here, and I was like, you know what, let me just go outside and say hi. Somehow her and her dude end up getting into a physical altercation, and literally it's a couple other people who could corroborate this story with, because they was right there too, and he's beating the dog shit out of her. So me at that time, that's my best friend. I'm okay, I don't know what you're arguing about, but I ain't about to get beat by no grown ass man. I already have my own problems like that before. So, I'm gonna just break y'all up. Me being a friend, I'm like, girl, stay out here with me, talking, go in your house, get some water, clean yourself up, something. And obviously, so they don't fight again, to stop him from beating her ass.
Mhm.
I felt like I was doing the right thing. I told him to go upstairs and go in my apartment and sit down. Mind you, he ain't never been up there before. Obviously, for the situation, I felt like it was appropriate for him to go upstairs and calm down, so to stop them from fighting. She's drunk. I'm out there with the bitch, okay? So she's like, why is my man upstairs in your apartment? Da-da-da-da-da. You want my man? And I'm like, girl, don't nobody want your man but you. So she got mad because she's drunk. She's mad because her dude's in my apartment. Obviously, this is stupid ass shit. And that Dusty. Anyway, we literally don't nobody want her man but her. So she gets mad. She calls children's services on me. And literally her fucking the reason why I flipped out on her and the
All
reason
right. With the curse words though, the curse words.
oh I'm sorry y'all. So the reason why I flipped out on her and it, like, you know, it made me so mad because you call children's services on me just to tell them that sometimes I say, can you come and sit with your not your grandson, but your godchild so I can walk around the corner to go get some milk? What was you just causing problems for me for no reason over when I'm trying to help you out? I could have just stayed in the house for that damn, I could have stayed in the house for all that, I'll care. So anyway, they come, they tell me they're, all the reports and all that other stuff. Oh, that we're taking the kids. I flip out, try to do that. They was like, okay, we're about to give you two options. We're either about to tase you and take you to jail, or you better you calm down.
Mm-hmm.
So, I calmed down for $200. I'm gonna go in the house. It's cool. Y'all got that. So, I dealt with all of that. I actually did not leave the house, didn't communicate with nobody for 3 months. Like, I kid you not. Like, my mama could not even reach to me. Like, I would look at her messages and not even reply, like, for 3 months straight. Nobody could see me, hear me, nothing. So around that time, I'm like, okay, I can't just be sitting in the house feeling sorry for myself. I have to, I got to get a plan. But, my kids was falsely taken from me for something I had nothing to do with, like literally no ties, no nothing, So it was like, I ain't gonna lie. I was broken, battered, belittled. Like, I just felt worthless, So after them 3 months, I got up, I devised me a little plan, got me a car. Well, started working. I got me a car. I opened a franchise. I was Ubering on top of that. Like, I actually got 5 incomes. And then I met, my twins' dad somewhere in the process of me giving rides and stuff. And, at this point, it's 3-4 months in. I'm like, whatever, I deserve a life or whatever. So at this time, I still was on birth control, so I had no plans on having kids or nothing. And we started messing with each other, and I already told him, for one, he's not my type. He don't have enough hustle in him. But I'm not really the type to where at that moment I really wanted to go out and venture. It was like, fuck it, excuse my language. I'm like, forget it, he's right here. It's something to do, literally something to do. So we're messing around for a little bit of time, and like I said, I still don't want nothing serious, and I'm on birth control, but I am fertile. I'm very fertile. So my youngest son, he's actually a birth control baby. So when he slipped up and decided to, like, can I say that on this channel? I think we're all old enough to know what we're
He
saying.
finished and planted his seed.
There we go. So yeah, and I'm like, it sure won't be me. So I took a plan B. What I didn't know is that even if you're on birth control and you take a plan B, I didn't know they canceled each other out. So me trying to make sure he didn't end up my baby dad kind of not made me, but it kind of, it backfired, because she's like, oh, you tried to get rid of me before I was born. Well, here I am and meet my sister. So um, that's how they came. Now, when I found out I was pregnant, I didn't find out till I was like 4 months, because I was just having severe back pain, but I was still having my periods. So when I went to the hospital, they was like, oh, you're pregnant. I'm like, mind you, I'm like, not me. You got the wrong one. Because, like, mind you, I'm on birth control. I took the plan B. It's just, I'm thinking, things are sweet. There's like, nah, it's you. And I'm like, it's anybody but me. Like, no, it's you. So long story short, they did my test twice to, kind of shut me up. I was still pregnant and shortly. So when they sent my first ultrasound, I was kind of like, I don't want to be here, but I'm not gonna lie, I had got perked up and excited, because when I went in for the first ultrasound, there wasn't a bag. I mean, no, there was a bag, but there was nothing there, not a dot, not nothing. So they was like, okay.
When you say you got perked up while you was pregnant?
No, like, no, not perked up, not like perks and Zans and stuff.
Oh,
Like, no. I mean, like, perked up, like I got happy, like excited, like
Oh, okay.
Like,
Girl, you gotta be girl. I don't, it's all these slang words. I gotta be clear.
look, nothing since 2017. Nothing since 2017. So anyway, so yeah, I got perked up or happy or overexcited because when I went in, there was a bag, but there was nothing in there, and it was like, well, for what your HCG level is measuring or whatever, like, you know, there's there should be something there. So they said come back. There was nothing there again that following week. So they said, okay, well, it's now going on the third week. You still don't have nothing in the bag, so come back on that third appointment. They were gonna give me the little stuff for the DNC or whatever the method or process is. Excuse me. So, excuse me. So when I on that third visit, when I went, something popped up in the bag. Something was there, and I was like, oh, so this is what y'all gonna do. So they was like, oh, okay. Well, you know what? Just come back next week. So literally, I was going back to the doctor every week to, try to be proactive on this. So also at this time, we also had the abortions were banned here. Like once there was a heartbeat and stuff. So the reason why also it took the 4 weeks because there wasn't nothing in the bag. So everybody's thinking there ain't no baby. So on that third week when the baby popped up or whatever, not the third week, but that third visit when something popped up in the bag, they was like, oh, okay, well, just come back. We're gonna see what's going on, what it's looking like then. So when I went, it went from nothing to a dot, and then when I went back on that fourth visit, that dot turned into two large dots with heartbeats, and I was like, well, I mean, I'm only so big. Where was they at? So I was like, they already got heartbeats. So I'm like, okay, so obviously it's too late. So while I was freshly pregnant, I was excited because once I realized I was like, okay, well, obviously I can't abort them or nothing. So I was kind of getting excited. And then I was like, oh, they're twins. I was like, what if they're my girls? They don't like, I finally got girls. Like I was kind of, making myself happy, granted who the dad was, but then of course, dealing with who I was dealing with, like turns out he had a pill problem. And I got this man on video leaning, looking like a junkie and everything. But it don't matter. But
Guy's baby daddy was on drugs too. He was on pills.
Yeah, I can't say he's doing that now because I don't talk to him. I haven't seen him since sometime December when I had tried to drop my daughters off to him. Well, because it wasn't like, oh, mutual, like, hey, come get the girls. That was my first time reaching out to him in almost a year or two or however long, like, hey, did you know that your girls over here still exist type thing? So he was like, oh yeah, you know what he was trying to play the part of, oh yeah, what are they doing, how are they? And then he's like, yeah, I'm gonna come and see them and pick them up tomorrow. And I'm like, okay, because well, obviously not now, but like when I tell you, I kept trying to get this man to, have a bond with his daughter. He's like, you don't have to like me. We don't have to get along. In fact, we don't have to talk about nothing but pick up, drop off, anything emergency wise or, food wise when it comes to these girls. We couldn't even do that because he wasn't involved. So when I saw him in December, this is now day 4 of him saying, oh yeah, I'm about to come get him. And I was like already going through some crazy stuff. So he was with his baby mama at that time. And, I'm sorry, y'all. This car fucking sucks. Anyway, he was living with his baby mama at the time. Huh?
You all right? What happened right there? What happened?
Oh, the light keeps cutting off in the car.
Oh, you better start your car and so that your battery don't die.
Oh, okay, there we go. So,
yeah, start for a little bit because girl, your battery gonna die out that light.
Yeah. So, what was I saying? Oh, so yeah. Anyway, found out I was pregnant with the girls. I actually spent my entire. Well, I'm not gonna make it seem like he wasn't there. I mean, okay, he was present in and out, but he wasn't like actually there. I'm not gonna make it seem like he was somebody I could really call on or talk to when I was pregnant or anything. But I'm not gonna lie, it was because I had some severe hyperemesis. Like you see, like the way I'm sitting now, like even if I turned my head to the side, I would like, it was so bad. Like I was in the hospital 3 times a week. My back gave out, my hips gave out. So, obviously I was also on bed rest too.
Mm-hmm.
So at one point, I'm not gonna lie, I couldn't work. I couldn't even go to the food pantry. I couldn't do nothing. The only time, no, it's 2 times this man, and I'm not about to take it from him because, it could be completely at a 0, but we at 2, so I'm gonna give it to him. It's 2 times this man came through. One was extremely fucking, one was extremely late, but he still came through, and I was with formula for my daughters because, this is when the formula shortage was like at an all-time high. Because but by the time that he decided to, try to put the differences aside for our daughters, I had already went to Cincinnati. Mind you, I'm in Cleveland. I already drove to Cincinnati for 4 cans of formula and drove back. But he did pop up with 12 cans of baby formula. How he got it, I don't know, but he sure to help. Sorry, he sure got it. I'm not going to take that from him. And like I said, I was on bed rest. I couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. And mind you, he is a last resort. He's anybody's last resort, because it's just not going to happen. So he was my last resort. I called him. I said, hey, I'm hungry. That man had something, delivered. And those are the only 2 times I got help from him. Oh, and December, because I forcefully dropped my daughters off because, like I said, it's going on 4 days. He's talking about I'm about to see him and pick him up and stuff. I had some serious stuff going on. I wasn't having it. I'm like, oh, here we go. So I pulled up at his baby mama's house. I knocked on her door. They got cameras. I know y'all could see I'm here, but I knew he was in there because he kept lying, saying he was at work, but I could hear his son playing in the background. You at your baby mama house. So I knocked on the door. Nobody came out. So I walked back to my car to grab my phone. So as I grab my phone, I turn around. I'm walking back up to the house. I see him coming around the back. So I'm like, I wear glasses. So it's a little dark. So I'm like, looking like, is that him? And I was like, oh, it is him. So I waited till he got, close up by the porch where my daughters was. And I said, well, there go your daughters. Have a good night. Go ahead and be a dad. And I sure did drive off. But it's not like I just left them on the porch with no supervision. I made sure he saw them. He was standing right next to them. Now you ain't got no choice but to do something for him. So he got mad because, and he had them he didn't have them, but his baby mom had them for 4 days. But the entire 4 days that he had them, which me and her actually ended up exchanging, like, talking on Facebook because he was and he's still so immature. The 4 days that he had them, he called children's services, tried to tell them that my kids was malnutritioned and all of that, which is not true because his baby mom will tell you when she picked them up, his sister actually talked to his sister when she was there.
Okay,
she was
wait. So you said when he got the kids, you dropped them off and then you drove off. Like you made sure he had them, but then you drove off. And then he had them for 4 days. So when he had them for 4 days, then he called and said that they were malnutrition.
Yeah, he called them, tried to say that they was malnutritioned. He tried to say that they had an ear infection and all that stuff, but what he didn't know, they literally already had a doctor's appointment like 2 days prior to that. So there wasn't nothing wrong with them. So he tried it, and then turns out, which I actually have that recorded. Turns out he actually called children's services on me because he was saying that he was trying to get the kids so he could try to use them to try to get a house. And I was like, you do realize that if you go to court and we get 50-50 custody, you still might be able to do something, but you trying to do all this extra stuff. So I kept, I would text him. I'm like, how the girls doing? He would text me, you'll never see them again. Then like he would just like text me stuff that don't have nothing to do with nothing. Like if I was to call him about his daughters, he's going to talk about our relationship from however many years ago. Like it never stays on just the topic of our daughters. It literally goes to anything else but our daughters. And I ain't trying to talk about nothing else but our daughters. Like I just need to talk about how you gonna be a dad. And if you ain't, that's why we don't talk, because there's nothing to talk about. So also, like the night when I dropped them off at children's services and stuff like that, the cops actually talked to him on the phone. He told them he didn't want them because he got 2 babies on the way by 2 other women. And I'm like, well, good luck to them. I mean, I guess, but
Yeah.
That I'm like, okay, well, that don't really have nothing to do why you can't do nothing for them, because, my daughters are almost 3. They don't know him. Like, I'm not going to make it seem like I haven't tried to take the initiative to, get them to get a bond. Because it's a couple times I've tried to FaceTime him and just put the phone on the kids and anything. When he get on the camera, they look and they look at me. They be like, "Who is this man, mommy?" Well, of course they don't say it, but their looks say it all. Um, but yeah, that's just like the backstory with him. And he actually was also, I'm not even gonna beat you, he was also abusive as well. He was more physically abusive, more so than verbally abusive, because he was, for the most part, off the Zans.
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to give him, because mind you, when I met him, I had 5 incomes. He actually messed up all 5 incomes for me, because he's not like business minded, so he don't understand how it works to own a franchise. So my franchise, I was actually really starting to really like kind of take off. Like I was getting contracts with Pepsi, Coca-Cola, like really like all different type of contracts and stuff. So
Contracts doing what?
so I would go and clean their warehouses, schools, government buildings, and it wasn't like it was a franchise, so all that money was coming back to me. So I was getting paid by per square foot or something. So if I'm getting paid per square foot or whatever, some of these places are like 300, 3,000 and higher, So he didn't realize that sometimes when you're owning your own business, mind you, I don't know if you can kind of tell, but I'm trying to get to the money. So I'm the same way money minded as I was then. So, you know, I'm gonna take every opportunity. So if they call me, if headquarters call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, hey, or text me saying, hey, we got this new contract for you. I'm gonna pick up that phone call. But what he would do behind my back, thinking that, because he's very insecure, like he can't dish out the same type of hurt he gave people. So mind you, I've never cheated on nobody I've ever been with, because I know how it feels to be cheated on. So anyway, he would text these different companies behind my back, some unprofessional, straight BS. So I ended up losing my franchise, because they're just like, no, we got to cut ties with you because it's getting bad. Or if I would have to go clean, like, these are businesses. You have some of these places, you have to have clearance, authorization, or badges to get through. He think I'm about to just pull up with him while he's sitting in my car for hours while I'm in this place cleaning, because he's so worried about what I'm doing. So I'm like, okay. And that's also why I took a plan B, because also he was so worried about what I'm doing, about what type of money I'm making. He wasn't even seeing his daughter that his aunt had 24/7. And I'm like, bro, you want to go see your daughter? I can take you to go see your daughter, because you're not about to be up my butt. So, and I'm like, okay, he don't want to go see his daughter. He want to be up. He trying to be up under my butt. Keep asking me for money here and there. Like, well, not even here and there. This every single day, nonstop. And I don't have a problem with doing my part for whoever I'm with. You're with somebody to give and to take from, or whatever the case is. Because when I found out I was pregnant, then we did try a relationship. We found out real quick. I found out real quick that he was the one, like 3 weeks in. So 3 weeks into the relationship, and I ended that. So I spent my whole pregnancy by myself. Um so once I realized he just didn't have like no hustle, and I'm like, okay, he make it seem like he's such a street dude, and he's so hard body and stuff. So I'm like, well, I mean, you jumped off the porch and this is the life you so desperately want. Here you go. So, and this is how I found out he had the pill problem. Let me tell you. So I'm like, okay, you don't want to go get no job. You got every excuse, but you such a hard body street dude and you sell this and that. Okay, well, here, you ain't about to keep being in my pockets. I bought him a bundle of whatever. Mind you, this is years ago. So I bought him a bundle of like 200. It was well over 200 pills or whatever. Perks, and not perks, but Xanax and stuff like that. This dude sold 30 and took the rest.
Pills, you said? What?
I spent, so mind you, I had 5 incomes, so I wasn't about to give him like a thousands and nothing like that. It was just like enough for him to get started, to get out of my face. So
Oh, so it was for him to flip it?
yeah, so he can get out of my face, do something with his life.
Oh.
So I gave him the sauce. I gave him the bundle of I didn't buy it because I don't know nothing about all of that. But I took him. He went to go buy it. He took 30 and no, he sold 30 and he took the rest. So I tried to give him the sauce and he completely botched that. So I'm like, okay, you don't have no hustle. You ain't got nothing going for yourself. I just tried to put money in your pocket, and you just, then I found out, like, because, me trying to help him get money or whatever, that's how I also found out he had the pill problem. Because this man, okay, the way it happened is, I'm not gonna lie, like, he used to smoke a lot of weed. So, sometimes he'd be a little a little slow or whatever. So
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking one day, he's just extremely high and smoked himself out or something, and because he looking real weird, and I'm trying to like real weird. So I'm like, I'm pregnant, like I'm actually showing and everything. So um, I'm looking at him, I'm like, you good? He's like, yeah, I'm cool. Like he's starting to like slur his speech and stuff. So I'm like, okay. I'm just like, I think nothing of him. Like whatever. He just extra smoked out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I realized it wasn't him smoking out, like, being smoked out, how like them people be standing when they hit the pipe, how they will be leaning and stuff and whatnot. So
Oh,
I'm like,
I don't know what that's like. What?
no,
What?
like, like you ever seen on the videos where people like of the people who are on drugs, how they're leaning against the wall, they're falling and dropping slowly and stuff
Oh,
like
okay,
that.
like zombie like the people that be
Yeah. So
zombie like.
he
Okay.
he was doing that, but oh, thank you. He was doing that, and
Who is that?
that was my sister. I told you family was in town and stuff.
Oh,
Yeah. But
she just brought you some food.
yeah. So he was like doing that, but and I'm like, mind you, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm so smart, but I'm like, at this time I was
You
like,
say,
really?
wait, hold on, wait. You live with your sister?
No, 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 no. I have my own house. Like I have my own house at least for right now. But
Your
family's in
sister?
town and it's Mother's Day weekend, so we're kind of just at over here, huh?
Oh, you not at home. You at a family's house?
Yeah, because I think I
Yeah.
was talking to you when I was walking to the store earlier. Yeah, so like, um, it's Mother's Day's week. You know what I'm trying to say.
That's
So
Mother's
the
Day.
family festivity and yeah, all of that. Um, so like, not only is he like standing and stuff like that, and I'm really smart, but at that time, I got pregnancy brain. I'm a little slow, a little bit like not really thinking nothing of it. I'm like, okay, it's not that hard. If you that tired, just go to sleep. Like I'm really looking at him like, yeah, I'm just like, just go to sleep. So when I realized it was more than that, is not only was he dropping his stuff, but he was also like walking like that too. But he started running into the wall. That was like he's running into walls, and I'm
Oh wow.
I'm like, okay, you're not high. I mean, you're high, but you're not high off no weed. Like something's going on.
Right.
Found out, I see because he's all messed up and stuff. I don't know, his pants fall and the pills fall out his pocket, and I'm like, oh, damn,
Oh wow.
that's cold. So it's like I figured out, put two and two together, and then he came clean about it. You know, because he also like he would just start flipping out of nowhere. Like I would wake up, and I remember one time he actually made me lose my car. Well, he crashed my car because he was mad about. He was high off the Zans and stuff. He crashed my car because he got mad about some stuff he had put together in his head. So anyway, like he would do like certain stuff, like because he's off the Zans and those make you aggressive and stuff. Like I would go to the like I would walk to Popeyes and I would get him some chicken. And then mind you, I told you he was very insecure and he's off the Zans. So he's, where are you? What are you doing? Da, 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 da. So when I came back, like he would do like weird stuff. Like he would smack the chicken out my hand, like all and put the food all over the place, like destroy everything I got, like my TVs, punch holes on the walls and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and and also of course putting his hands on me, like I said. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and be done with you. So I spent my whole pregnancy alone because it was better than to be around that. And it is like,
Okay, let
what?
me pause you 1 second. All right, so while you're in a relationship with him, he's your last baby daddy. You pregnant by him with twins. You said your kids were in CPS for a year and a half. So while you're pregnant with twins with him, your kids were where? Were they in CPS still
Yep.
at the time or?
Yeah. And that's how, like, I also, like, I really wasn't trying to have no more kids because why would I be trying to have kids if I'm trying to get the last ones back? But, like I said, the whole birth control and plan B type of thing, so that's how I ended up pregnant with them and, still without the other kids and stuff. So, um, also like I don't know if you know what like placenta previa is, but how I told you I couldn't really carry my twins. I was on bed rest and all that other stuff. My twins were 2 pounds when they were born. Like they were like, let me see if I can, let me see. Sorry. So like this is my hand. Like my twins were like this big when they were born. Like they really weren't big at all. And it wasn't no fault of my own. It's not like I was abusing drugs or anything like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was smoking weed while I was pregnant because my hyperemesis, like that was the only way I could do anything. Like It was so bad. But anyway, my placenta was actually detaching from my uterine wall, and
Okay.
had it if it would have detached like completely, it would have killed them instantly. But the night that they were born, so they actually tried to come once when I was 14 weeks, once another time when I was 19 weeks. So when they came at 29 weeks, I had just went into the hospital a day, like literally 24 hours prior. Well, actually, no, let me rewind it back. I went to the hospital 2 weeks prior because I ended up actually went into preterm labor trying to do my brother's hair. Well, not trying. I did. I slayed his stuff. But anyway, I went into preterm labor. I ended up dilating. So I ended up spending quite some time in the hospital. And I'm not gonna lie, when I did went into preterm labor for the first time, I did let him know, because at this time I didn't talk to him for like 3 months or whatever. But when I had went into preterm labor, he did come and sit at the hospital with me for, I think, however long I was in there, he was there. So when I got out the hospital, we kind of just went our separate ways because it wasn't that. And he was also going back and forth between all his other baby mamas and stuff. It was really like a fucking, excuse my language. It was a circus for real. But so yeah, 2 weeks went by. The 2 weeks. I was in preterm labor, so the 2 weeks went by. That's when they tried to come again. So I had went to Grant this time, and the first time I went into preterm labor, I dilated to 1. So the second time, I was at 1.5, almost 2, and they was like, well, at this point, if they're gonna come, they're gonna come. We're not gonna stop them. And I'm already stuck with them. I can't, I couldn't abort them or nothing, so I've already fallen in love with these girls, and then they're telling me if they're gonna come, they're gonna come. They're not gonna stop them. So it was just like, okay, does that mean you guys are gonna try to save their lives, or they're just gonna die? So thank God I was far enough to where they were able to save their lives. But once they sent me home, I was like, okay. Because also my contractions were 5 minutes apart, like from the moment they sent me home all the way up until leading to. So the next day, it's like nighttime. We're laying down, because he actually was with me that night, from when I went to the hospital, and then he sent me home. So he stayed with me because we knew that they were going to come. We just didn't know when, because they weren't trying to stay in for nothing. So that very next night, around like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, I'm sleeping, and I feel a little drizzle or something come out of me, and I'm like, I wake up, and I'm like, I'm grown, so I know I'm not peeing, but I was like, I never have none of like my water break with none of my pregnancy, so I don't know what it's like, for water to break. So
Right.
apparently, I guess it really does kind of start and stop, depends on how it comes out or whatever. So anyway, I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just tripping. So I'm trying to go back to sleep, and I feel it again, so I jump up again, and I'm like, okay, I ain't tripping. So I didn't go back to sleep. I'm sitting and I'm like, okay, it's going to come. So it's like 7 minutes coming, nothing. And then I feel it again. And I was like, okay, I'm up. Something's happening. It's like, because then I tried to hold it in, and it was still coming out. So I was
Right.
like, okay.
You
So
felt
I
like
get up.
you
I
on
kind of
yourself.
look on the bed. It's blood on the bed. So I'm like, oh. I wake him up, and of course, he wasn't doing pills at that very moment. Like, he was not, like, around the time when my daughters had, was born. I think he stopped maybe like 3 months prior or something. So I don't know if he's doing them now. I don't know what he's got going on. So I'm not about to make it seem like as of right now he's doing those, because I don't know. I can't tell you that. So anyway, he smoked himself to sleep. So when I woke him up, he couldn't even comprehend what I was telling him. So I'm like, hey, I'm bleeding, something's going on. We got to go to the hospital. Him
Right.
not comprehending, he's like, can we just go in the morning? And I'm like, no. So I said, I'm about to hurry and go take a shower real quick, because it wasn't like nothing serious. It was just like a little couple drizzles or whatever. My apartment at that time was so
So
small.
that was kind of serious, but go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. Because like you can have like some spotting during like pregnancy, and I'm gonna tell you what made me like where I was like, oh yeah, we got to go like now. So
Um,
my apartment was like really small, so it was only like 6 steps to the bathroom. The moment I got to the bathroom, I turned around and I turned the light on. I finally got that gush of water that you get when your water breaks. Except for when I got my gush of water, it wasn't a gush of water; it was a gush of blood. Like, I mean, like just blood just pouring out of me. So, I started screaming. I'm like, oh my God, my baby's like, what's going on? So he finally, like, he hears me screaming. He gets up. He comes, like, the entire bathroom floor is just covered in blood. Just covered in blood. It's like, it's just coming out. So I'm like, call the cops, call the cops. Like, you got to call an ambulance. Like, right now, I got to go. And he's like, I can't. If I call the verbatim, I actually remember this verbatimly. Out of his mouth, he's like, I can't. If I call the cops, I have to go because he has a warrant and stuff. And so I'm like, okay, you got to be kidding me, like, bro, like, you can't, like, I'm like, okay, I get it, whatever. I'm like, okay, we drive to the hospital. I'm like, I'm asking if he can drive because for obvious reasons. He didn't. I drove myself to the hospital while I'm bleeding out, and because the contractions had also started while I'm driving, but because of the severity of what was going on, my contractions were starting at 2 minutes apart. Like, it wasn't even 5; it was starting at 2 minutes apart. So it was like, okay, this is getting really, really bad. So before I even get to the hospital, the towel that I had put in my pants completely soaked. The gurney, the hospital floor, like, when I tell you, it was just like a trail of blood everywhere. So they were like, they looked at me. They were like, "We're gonna try to keep you pregnant." I looked at them. I said, I wasn't even gonna argue. I'm like, what? Maybe y'all know something I don't. Whatever.
They
So
said
then,
they gonna try to keep you pregnant. That's what you said?
yes, while I'm bleeding out, like, literally the entire gurney, like, there's blood falling onto the floor. It really looked like a murder scene. So they're like, "We're gonna try to keep you pregnant." They left. They come back in maybe 3 minutes later. They was like, "Okay, we can't keep you pregnant. We don't know where this blood is coming from. You're bleeding out." Thank God they were still able to actually hook up the monitors and still, like, get both heartbeats for the girls. So it was just real quick. Like, I'm in so much pain. Like, at this point, it felt like the contractions were coming every 30 seconds. I could feel them, coming down a little bit. It was just bad. And it's like 20 people coming in the room trying to talk to me at once. They're trying to get me to sign this paper, that paper. They're trying to hurry and rush me out the room so quick that they ended up snatching the IV out my arm. Well, no, they didn't snatch it out my arm, but they almost, like, they had to hurry up and stop and go grab that little IV bar thingy or whatever. So I get in there, and regardless, I ain't never had no type of surgery. I don't think the only type of procedure I've ever had was having a tooth pulled.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna
So
pause you right there because the people in the chat, they are like, okay, this is a lot. All right. So um
yeah,
so
I talk a lot, y'all. I'm sorry. I'll be trying to give y'all all the details.
all right. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, so at the time that you had those kids, the twins, your other kids was in CPS, they were in the system. So
Yep.
after you had your kids, how long before you got them back?
Okay. So after I had the girls, um, because I had an open case with CPS already regarding the other kids, while my daughters were still in the NICU, they took custody of them. So um altogether, I got all my kids back by the time my daughters turned 8 months. So, like, yeah.
Okay,
So
so your kids were in the system, you get pregnant with twins, you give birth, and then you don't get to take your twins because they took them too.
yeah, so they took custody of them, but I could actually still see them and everything because my daughters, because they were born premature, they were in the hospital for 3 months. So because the hospital is pretty much supervised 24/7, I could go and see them, and I could go see them and all that. But also, I also didn't know that CPS had taken custody until 2 weeks before they were taking my daughters home. So
Okay.
they try to play it cool all the way up until then. Excuse me. But when I had my daughters, I actually had a really good job. So I was still on maternity leave. So when at that time my mom stepped up and she took custody of my twins. So because I was still on my maternity leave, I could stay at my mom's house. I could stay at my mom's house, during my case. So the first 3 months, the first 3 months that my mom had the girls, it's like she didn't have them because I was there. I kid you not, I was there every night. Like, I only left to go to work and I came right back. Like, I was not playing. um, and it wasn't. I made
So
sure
they
that it wasn't.
wait, so they took your twins
Hmm.
and put them in your mom's care?
Yeah, through kinship.
Okay.
Yep. So my mom took them, but it's for the time that my mom had them, is she probably only had to do it herself for probably about a month because, um, after the first 3 months of my maternity leave or whatever, I had to go back to work. But
Hmm.
so she had them for that month, but then I was still kind of, we were figuring it out for that month or whatever. So by that time, my overnight visitations had started. And my caseworker was so cool because even she was like, I don't get why your case is even a case right now, because in which I am working with lawyers right now with a lawsuit with CPS because they really did some crazy ass stuff, let me tell you. Well, we'll do it for another time maybe or something, because yeah. But anyway, um I was still doing my overnight visitations and stuff after that month, so it's like I kind of was living in my house and my mom's house because I wasn't trying to be away from them. So when I got my daughters back, I actually got my daughters and my youngest son back the same day, and then I got my oldest two back maybe a month later. But I was doing so well in my case, and once they realized, because also I had ended up getting a new judge or whatever, and once CPS as well as the other parties were caught lying in court, they kind of just like give her back her kids and they closed my case. And that's when they sent me that letter saying everything was unsubstantiated, because they knew everything was false that was against me. They knew it was false for about, well, they knew it was false maybe, I'm gonna just say 3 weeks after they had custody of my kids. But because they were getting money from my kids, they were drawing it out and, you know, doing this and adding this and flipping that and just doing all type of stuff. So it took me to it took a new it took a new judge to actually go back and look at everything versus the evidence. And he was just like, what are y'all doing? No, we're gonna give this lady back her what's your name, because children's services was lying saying I didn't have a medical marijuana card. And I was so happy I did that. I said, excuse me, your honor, I just held it up. And he was like, what is that? I said, my medical marijuana card. And it was just like,
Oh, because they was
once,
trying to say that your kids had drugs in their system?
yeah, that never happened.
That's what they were telling you, that they had drugs in their system?
No. So they did, I did have weed in my system, but that wasn't what they took them for. They didn't even care about that because, like if you do have weed in your system, they're automatically going to open up a case. But the caseworker that they had come out, she saw everything that I have for my daughters where they would be sleeping and stuff like that. So she closed her case on my daughters. Okay, they added them to the my already open case, but they already had the separate case open from when I had the weed in my system when they were born. But she closed her case, pretty much after the first home visit, because I was working two jobs as well as doing a couple other things while I was pregnant, which probably also led to them coming early. So I had actually created like a humongous stockpile. So it actually lasted my mom all the way, the 8 months that she had them, and probably the first 3 months that I had from when I brought them home. Like that stockpile was huge. Like it was big. So yeah, she closed her case. They transferred it to the case I already had open. They closed my case. I got all my kids back, and I'm trying to think what year this was. I got all my kids back in 2020. I want to say 2021. No, 2022. Yeah, 2022, because I forgot. Well, I didn't forget, but my daughter was born in November. So yeah, I got all my kids back in 2022. So I haven't seen or talked to nobody as far as like, dude's mom or anybody like that, including my baby dad, since I got my kids back. So they can't tell you what is going on, because it's all these. I have noticed, like, all these different narratives and stuff, and it don't bother me because some of the stuff I really do be laughing at, but some of the other stuff was like, oh dang, I didn't even know that happened. I mean, where was I at? And so
Right.
I don't pay attention to a lot of the stuff that's just not true. But that's really the stories of my baby dads. And I have over and over again, I've asked for help and stuff, because
So
also
your
right
mom is
before.
not willing to help? What about your sister that just came to the car? Like, your sister didn't wanna help you with your kids?
No, that's the thing. My family has helped me. It's not like, oh, I always need help or no, because I have that daycare and stuff like that. But they have tried to help. It's just not no space. Like, and then it's also like, I'm not the only one who got stuff going on. They had stuff going on too. And it's I was 15 when I had my first. I'm 27 now. My family's been there. So it's like at this point, shout out to my family. Thank y'all so much. But it was time for the dads to step up. It don't necessarily have to
Yes.
be their family, but the dads, yes, because everybody's lashing out at me. But I'm like, okay, did y'all ask the dad where they been at? Because now that I've gone viral and I'm gaining, like, the exposure and stuff like that. Now they're telling the narrative of, oh, I've tried to get my kids and and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, now that I'm viral, I bet you've tried to get your kids home. But where were you when I've been trying to hit you up for 11 years? Where were you the last 3 years I've been trying to hit you up? And what happened with, didn't you just tell the cops 30 minutes before I walked them in there that you didn't want them? But they're not going to, of course, they're not going to do that narrative because, of course, everybody's trying to do whatever they can for clickbait or, because not everybody's used to trying to, getting this type of attention. And I accidentally went viral. I just needed, not attention, but I needed documentation, like I said, because I know how they do crazy stuff because I've already been through the ringer with them. So I wanted to make sure that before Children's Services was going to try to do anything and flip it and try to say that I don't have a plan or I'm this way or that way. Nope. It's 2 million other people besides of the backlash, but it's 2 million people who heard me tell this lady, say, I got a plan, I'm coming back for my kids. Regardless what y'all talking about. I'm coming back for my kids, and like I said, I mean, I'm just coming back for my kids regardless. So like whatever it looks like on the outside, I don't know.
Okay.
But I did this for them.
All right, so we get to the part where you had lost custody, you regained custody back, and then now last week you gave them to CPS. So, I mean, not gave them to CPS, to a family. You went to CPS, but then you ended up placing them with somebody that you trust them to be with, right?
Yeah, because like I said, once they realized like there really wasn't nothing wrong with me, there's actually no concern for their safety and stuff. They was like, we don't want to have to actually take custody of your kids if we don't have to, because if we take custody, although there's nothing going on, it's going to be a struggle to get them back, and we don't want to have you have to go through that when you don't have to. So
Okay.
we devised a plan. Like I actually created, they said, if you can create your own case plan before you walk out this building tonight, we're going to give you custody of your kids back, because technically on the video you hear them say they took custody of the kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they legally didn't take custody yet because we didn't go to court, because when I dropped them off, it was a Friday night. The courts is closed Saturday and Sunday. So I had already devised of a plan. Well, not like a plan, but like a case plan or a family plan before that Monday, and already had them, I already had foster people or people who had stepped up, wanting to help me. So, before that Monday came, that Sunday, I'm all right, I got somebody, da 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 da. So when Monday came, they don't have a case, they don't got kids to take custody of, and yeah, I don't have an open case with Children's Services. I have legal custody of all my kids. I wrote a letter saying, to who my kids are with right now, that, I'm getting myself together. We had it notarized. They just have temporary guardianship, and, my kids are temporarily residing with them, because I don't know what the status is of my house, because once they burned it down and stuff, everything's repaired now, but they still are not helping me out with, the situation with my rent. They're not trying to do anything with the food, reimburse me. They're not trying to do anything. So, and I told them, I was like, because I told you I had the job and stuff. So I was like, well, my next paycheck won't be until the 10th or whatever. um I might be able to throw something then, but I don't know, because you guys kind of cut into my hours, obviously, so I don't know what I'm going to be getting paid. So they was like, well, we're not going to wait till the 10th, and I was like, I mean, don't you guys think you guys should work with me at some point, because it's literally not my fault. I didn't burn down my house, y'all did. And it's
Mm-hmm.
his house. His work is his house. So I don't see why I have to be getting ready to lose everything. And I work so hard, like literally.
I
A
thought
lot
the
of people
burnt
don't
house
realize.
was the first time, or are you talking about now?
No, the house that they burned down, like they already repaired it, got everything back up and working. Because what they did is they caught the electrical wires on fire, so the whole back of the house had caught on fire. Not so. Let me clarify. Not the entire house. It was the back of the house that caught on fire. Excuse me. It was the back of the house that they caught on fire, so we couldn't live there, excuse me, for obvious reasons, until they could fix and repair and go through and, excuse me, get everything cleaned up and stuff. So excuse me. So
You all right?
yeah, just hiccups. I have hiccups every day. I
Oh,
don't lie. It's,
all
it's
right.
just a
So,
thing.
well, I'm gonna pause you right there. All right. So, you gave them up, and then there's viral posts that you made that was 2 days later after you dropped the kid.
Yep. I know which one you talk about.
Huh?
I know which one you about to say. The one shaking my ass, shaking my butt.
Yeah. So there was a post where you said that you couldn't wait to go shake your tail or whatever.
Yes, when I tell you social media, it's not my fault that they have selective reading and selective hearing, because anybody, did you happen to see that post that they were referencing? So if anybody
Let
could
me go
actually
to
like,
it. But go ahead.
oh, if anybody was actually reading it, like when I promise you, is like they saw the words, club, shake, and the A word, my butt and stuff like that. They saw them three words and they was like, up, she for the streets. But what they don't realize is I was saying I want to go clock in, a regular job. Once I get off that job, take my butt to a strip club, because like regardless of what nobody says, I've stripped before. I was making $1,400 a night before in Florida, and I wasn't doing no extra stuff. I wasn't, you don't have to mess with nobody, suck nothing, touch nothing. You don't have to do that at all. If you
Mm-hmm.
can, yeah, you can go dance and really get your money. I don't know what they be talking about, but
Yeah. So
but yeah, I
the
said I wanted to
post it
clock in.
says, I just want to clock in, get some money, then go shake some A in someone's club and get some more, then flip it into more money, then go OT and pick up and get the bag there.
What I don't know where they were getting that from, because I mean maybe I worded it differently or something, but to a coherent person, it sounds like I'm saying I'm doing everything I can to get some money to invest and flip it, and pretty much I'm mainly talking about generating multiple streams of income to invest and flip and invest and flip again, just
Right.
residual income. So they saw the three words, the A word, the shake and club, and they lost their stuff. That ain't my fault.
Okay.
That ain't my fault.
All right. So, okay, so people were talking about that post, and then people were talking about you also set up a GoFundMe prior to you giving them away.
No, so there's actually, what I said is after I did give the kids up, what I wanted to do was set up a GoFundMe page so that that money I could give to the foster moms to help take care of the kids while I got myself together. So
Mhm.
I never did get to set up a GoFundMe because I actually wanted to try to do it through a bank or something, to where the foster moms, or I don't know if it's like a possible thing, but I'm trying to think, because I don't know about no trust funds all the way like that. So I was just trying to get it to, where it was set up to where the money didn't go to me, to GoFundMe. I wanted it to go to the kids while I got myself together, because of course, although they would have the GoFundMe or the trust funds or whatever, I'm still gonna be providing. It's not like I'm gonna be a deadbeat. Like even now, I'm still providing, like a lot.
Mhm.
So, um, it was just like, yeah, I don't know. They took that whole narrative. I don't know. They just did too much. So yeah, there is no GoFundMe for the kids. Um, I haven't made any money except for I was paid $150 for an interview. I have a couple other interviews where people, not just people, but just like other platforms or radio stations and stuff, who's like, hey, I'll pay you for an interview. Of course, I'm gonna get paid for the interview. Yes, I'm gonna say, hey, yeah, cool. You want to pay me for an
Mhm.
interview? Yes, I'm gonna take the interview, because I'm taking that money right back to my kids. And if I don't take it to my kids, is going to be put into a business where I'm making money, because that money, of course, is going back to my kids. So it's like
Okay, I just
everybody.
want to make it clear to the audience, though. On my platform, I don't pay for interviews. I just get authentic conversations going, and if the person
Yeah, this one
wants,
I did not. Yeah,
yeah,
this one I did not get paid for. I want to throw that out there, but
yeah, because I just want to make it clear, because people, they'll be thinking like, nah, I just, my platform is definitely gonna draw, eyes on the story and things like that. And if they want to donate to you, they can. So that's why I told you can put your Cash App in your headline, so that if anybody wants to donate to your cause, then they can. But
yeah.
so you have been getting money from doing interviews and things like that so that you can provide for your kids?
Yeah, so like cuz I was telling everybody, like, like everybody wants me to be taking that money, going clubbing, buying this and buying that. No. Um and some of the most of the interviews haven't even came up just yet. Like some of them, so I'm not going to get paid for an interview I haven't done just yet, but like for sure, they reached out to me. They already let me know they're going to pay me. So, once the interview is complete or upon arrival, I'm going to get the money, type of thing. Um
Mhm.
and these are legit and reliable, or not reliable, but these are legit radio stations and stuff. So I don't have a reason to believe that they would lie, but I got it in writing, so it don't matter. So,
Mhm.
um, but yeah, I'm like, and then on top of that, it's not even just that, because like everybody's like, oh, you're trying to capitalize off your kids. Da, 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 da. I'm like, no, you guys technically made me viral about me trying to get documentation. you guys made me viral. You guys gave me the exposure, the attention. So, I am getting a lot of backlash for, making my choice. And it really was a hard choice. So, like, regardless, if I don't show it on the outside, it's not their business to know how I'm feeling on the inside. I already gave them enough peek into my pain, But, so it was just like, I forgot what I was about to say. Never mind.
We were talking about the reason why you were accepting money and things like that.
Oh, yeah. So, like, obviously, and it's like my city is so confused. They don't know whether they want to be, they're really confused. So, like, obviously the reason for me giving my kids up is because I'm tired of us struggling and I want to give us a better future by any means. So they're thinking like I'm using this situation and milking off my kids. Like, no, the situation with me and my kids is what you guys gave me, national attention about or whatever. Not national, I don't know what the hell, you know what I mean. But, you guys got me viral off of that. So I'm taking that exposure and I'm going to take all that negativity that I'm getting and I'm going to turn it into something positive, as well as raising awareness for single mothers who do need help. It's okay if you need help. If you need that help, go get that help. There's nothing wrong with that, because a lot of my comments is, it's okay to be a Black struggling mom. Everybody out here is struggling. Well, the reason why everybody think it's so normal is because I don't know if anybody's realized, but the narrative for Black women is, guess what? A Black struggling woman or a Black struggling mom. I'm not okay with that narrative that they've set for generations. So it's like a repetitive cycle of Black moms. That's why I'm just pretty much, I'm not okay with that narrative. I'm not comfortable stuck in the hood. I'm not comfortable with struggling. I guess that's why we're, two different places. I'm not saying I'm two different places, but like two different paths, I should say,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to change my narrative because I've struggled for too long. So before I get my kids back, I'm not going to be in the hood no more. I tell you that much. And, like I said, I'm not going to milk this situation. I'm not using my kids for clickbait or nothing. I'm taking this situation and I'm letting people know, like, hey, I do music. I like photo shoots. I model. I do all type of crazy, not crazy things, but I do all type of stuff. I'm not just in school. I'm not just working. I do all kind of things, So like, I'm always down to make some money. So it's like, they're like, oh, you're accepting interviews for money. Yeah, I gave my kids up for money, for a better future for us. So why would I not take the money to help me? So they're mad that I'm trying. They're mad that I gave my kids up for a brighter future, but my city is also trying to do anything they can to stop me from getting money to go back for my kids. So like, my city is delusional. Like, there's really no type of growth. That's why a lot of people who do start getting attention or whatever, they look elsewhere because there's no type of support in my city, because nobody wants to see somebody else eating unless it's them. And I even told everybody today, like, right now, and it's crazy that my viralness or whatever came from me exposing the reality of, my life, my pain, my heartbreak or whatever, but like I said, I'm telling everybody, but they're so mad at me. Is like, but they don't want to get money. And if you're a real business person, you know how to set your emotions to the side. Because I can get money with anybody I don't like. I'm sorry, that's just me. So I'm telling everybody today, like, we all can eat. It don't have to be, just me opening doors or from, getting doors open for me or whatever. It's like, I obviously can't give y'all the contacts that I got because there's two different paths and stuff, obviously, and I was already told not to give my, just other people just, you just don't get they stuff out. So, and I'm like, my stories are getting between 40 and 50,000 views. So I'm telling people, if you have something that you wanted me to promote or something, pay me and I'll promote it. Because, and I was telling people I'll do it for $100 for 40 to 50,000 views, and you don't know what's going to come from that at all. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's people who boost their post on Facebook for that, So I don't know. My city is like, they don't want to see me eat, but they don't want to eat with me, or it's like, I don't know. They're weird. Like, I don't know, but as long as they know, like, I'm still having doors open for me. Like
Somebody saying your baby daddy in the chat. Oh, let me see.
Huh?
Somebody said her baby daddy is in the chat. I don't see it, but
I wouldn't even know.
go ahead.
I wouldn't know.
Okay, so now what's your plan now? So now that you have given your kids up, You are in search of a better life. What type of opportunities are you looking forward to, and what is your plan going forward? And what do you look for out of this whole situation?
So let me just kind of let the bag out because I didn't want to kind of, I didn't want people messing it up for me because I already told you how hating my city is right now. So actually this past Monday, I actually did an interview with a company. I got the job, but I haven't started that job just yet because I'm getting 2 more licenses outside of the medical certifications and licenses I'm getting ready to attain with my state test and stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
um I got that job, but I'll also start another job, a second job, coming up here in a couple days on the 14th. So that's 2 jobs already secured, and well, 2 jobs and now 2 more licenses outside of the phlebotomy, EKG, whatever comes with a medical assistant. But my medical assistant, I went national with my license or my certification, but I'm getting my license, so I'm nationally I will be nationally licensed for my medical assistant thing. So
Oh, somebody said, "Is your baby daddy named Yella?"
huh? No, Yella.
Somebody in the chat with the name Yella is saying, "Where is their daughter?" or something like that.
Yella. Hold on, let me see what you talking about. I don't know. Yella. I don't see what you're talking
Yella
about.
is asking about his daughter, saying, "Where is the daughter?" You have a baby by somebody named Yella?
No, I don't know. I've never heard that name. And yeah, I definitely don't know who Yella is because he wouldn't be saying daughter. He'd be saying daughters, plural. And I know for a fact my baby daddy ain't asking where his daughters was because he got my number and he still ain't even asked me. So, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I don't know about all that.
Oh, okay. All right. So when we talked earlier, you said that you were going to the studio. You got music that's coming out.
Yes. So I'm also in another college. So I told you I graduated the medical one. I'm also in a separate college. I'll be done next year with my bachelor degree in music recording and audio production with a concentration in communication. So I'll be done with that. But yes, I do music and kind of breaking out into it. So I posted a rough draft, and it's like a lot of people, I don't think they really know what a rough draft is. But anyway, I was going to the studio earlier to actually, officially record my single. It's called Into That. So I was, going to officially record that, do my ad libs and stuff, getting ready for its release and stuff. So yeah. And plus, I have a couple of other songs that will be dropping after that. But yeah.
Oh,
But I
okay.
definitely wanted to show my rough draft.
Okay. So you're doing music. You're doing music, and then what other opportunities have come your way? Because on your Facebook, you said that now that this situation has happened, you have all these opportunities coming.
Yes, so I got so many offers for brand ambassadors. Well, paid offers to be brand ambassadors for different companies. I'm not going to say the companies just yet because I don't know if I ain't trying to mess nothing up. I don't know if I get in trouble or not, but um I've had countless offers for being paid a brand ambassador for all these different companies, interviews, podcast, couple photo shoots coming up because I model and stuff. And actually I got somebody wants me to be on their runway, like their runway fashion show, so I can't wait for that. I got a couple things in Miami, a couple interviews and photo shoots in Miami. Somebody said to come down to California. They're plugged in. They want to introduce me to some people. Not going to mention any names, but a countless other amount of very well-known established people have reached out, lend their hand to me. So I don't know what's gonna happen. I just know that I'm doing something that anybody else would have done with this type of exposure. You're gonna
Somebody put, "It's good to see that Brenda's baby survived and became a mother and a musician. Now that's what I call resilience."
huh, Brenda.
They they
I don't
they being
know.
silly.
Real quick, I don't know why. The moment you said Brenda, I was thinking about DMX's when he was like Brenda, Letitia, the other song. This, yeah, but
They talking about Tupac. Brenda's got a baby. She threw the baby in the trash can. They saying that baby became you. That's what they saying.
Mm, I guess. I mean, I don't. I love Tupac, but I don't know about that one. I don't know about that song or whatever.
All right, so you got modeling. So from you going viral, so what's your end goal like with all the exposure and attention that you're getting? Like, what do you hope to achieve? Is what I want to
So it's crazy. Before this whole viral thing even started, in the background, like, you know how I was saying before, like my music and stuff was kind of taken off a little bit behind the background. And I mean, like, I was writing, verses and hooks for some, established artists and stuff. So, like, I would be getting paid for that or whatever. But I've always had, like I said, before this viral thing happened, I always tell myself, whether before I'm 30 or 35, my end goal in life, because I want, generational wealth and comfortability and just wealth for me and my children, that I always said, before I'm 30 or 35, I always wanted to make six figures. And while I'm making six figures, I've always wanted to have residual income to just keep coming and coming and coming. And I always said, I don't know how I'm going to do it. And it's not impossible, but it's going to be hard as heck. So the end goal, and mind you, I wear many hats. I don't mind multitasking. I don't have no kids right now, so I got nothing but time to, take every opportunity my way. Like I said, I'm trying to change me and my kids' future. My kids are meant for a luxurious life. That I want to be able to put, my son in football. I want to be able to, do certain stuff without wondering if I got enough money for it or something. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna chase my dreams as well, because obviously me chasing my dreams and, not even just my dreams, but just taking all these avenues. Honestly, I need two incomes per child. So I need two incomes per child pretty much. So I'm gonna take every opportunity. I'm gonna try my best to profit, do whatever I can, get comfortable, suitable, or not suitable, but secured and financially close to somewhat financially free or something. I'm coming back for my babies. My end goal is just to give my babies a better life than what they've experienced. My end goal is to get my babies out of the hood, give them the resources to expand their mind. Because my kids, they like Greek mythology, Indian folklore. They read the Bible, the Quran, the other, they know about all these different things. They love culture, like different cultural foods and stuff. I want to be able to take that and expand, and I always want them to know about animals and stuff. You know how many different animals we've had? We done had so many different type of animals and stuff. And I want to be able to take them somewhere and just be able to, yeah, give them a backstory. I just want to,
Yeah, you want to create
I
experiences,
want to show them the world.
everything with
Yeah, I want to show them the world the best way that I can. And I obviously can't do it sitting in the welfare office or, stuck where I'm at.
Okay. All right. So right now I'm going to ask the audience if they want to come up. And this is where I will drop the link in the chat. We won't bring up too many people because we've already been here for a long time, but I'll drop the link in the chat, and then a couple of people will come up and they'll ask, a couple of questions. And then if there's anything else that you want to share, then we'll go from there. Sound good?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the link is in the chat. Moderators, please repost the link for me. Somebody said, is she trying to come up?
Am I trying to come up? Yeah, I am definitely trying to build a life of yeah, I'm trying to become financially free for me and my kids. I ain't trying to go to McDonald's and worried about if I got enough for something. So yeah, I'm trying to come up, and I'm gonna come up with whether some way, somehow, because I wear too many hats to not.
All right. Vixa?
I just have two quick questions. Firstly, are you aware of how high the rates of SA and other forms of abuse are when children are in the system?
I'm not exactly like I know it's something that definitely happens and it's pretty common, but I'm not exactly necessarily worried about that because my kids aren't in the system. They never were. At least this situation. And when they were in the system last time, they were placed with family. So yeah.
Okay, so currently your kids are with family.
Not my family, but like, yeah, like they're, how can I put it? I'm only going to call them family because obviously now they're an extension of me and my family. So I guess, yeah, my kids, I know where my kids are. I've placed them with people who have stepped up.
And if the government is not involved in this, you just place them with someone that you knew before.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that, please?
The government is not involved in arranging this family that your children are with. You just found this or knew this family beforehand and put your kids with them.
So how can I put it? I don't want to put like nobody's. So how can I put it? Like, they're not necessarily my blood family, but these are people I can definitely say I didn't think of when I reached out to countless other people for help. These are people I did not reach out to because it's kind of like, hey girl, where you been all these years type of thing. So it was like, oh, I have known you for, since I was 16. I just, I haven't seen her since I was 16, but I know she's very good people. She's married, they own a business. So, I didn't just place my kids with anybody there. I made sure, even if I knew them, they were suitable to where my kids would be comfortable, if that makes sense.
Okay, and you've made sure that your children are comfortable. You see your children, their living conditions,
Yes.
their safety,
Yep.
their school, their food.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I still provide like, so a lot of the things, I don't know if you guys seen the picture where, they were like, oh, she got the pizza and stuff like that. So because I still have custody of my kids, I still do get food stamps. Well, I did get this month's food stamps, but because I don't have my kids, there was no reason for me to have them food stamps. So I made sure I went grocery shopping and put it into the foster families of, the foster homes of my kids. There was food there. Yes, I will say.
Are they in multiple homes or one home? Because you said foster homes with an
yes, no, they're not together.
So they're spread out with different people?
Yeah. So when I got my food stamps, I made sure instead of, I'm not that type of mother. My kids always come first, whether they're with me or not. So like I said, I don't have my kids. There wasn't no point in me having $1,300 in food stamps for this month, So just not yesterday, the day before yesterday, I went shopping for all households, not my household, but all households that have my kids, because yes, there's food there, but I'm still a mom. I still got custody. I still got my responsibilities. Like I said, there's no reason for me to have them food stamps. It only made sense to, go put it with my kids. And I ain't gonna lie, anybody else probably would have sold them stamps, but no.
Okay, that's good that you shared the food stamps with your kids.
You said what?
I said that's good that you shared food stamps with your kids.
It's theirs.
Why are they in different homes?
Because 5 kids is a lot to take on when you already got a life of your own and you own a business and stuff.
Okay. Isn't that less safe for them being split up? And are they in 5 different homes?
No. Altogether, there's 3 different homes.
I see. Okay, and then just the last question is, what is your plan? Like, do you have a step-by-step plan of how you're going to improve your life and become upwardly mobile? Or is it kind of like, I just dream one day?
No. I definitely have a plan. I've had a plan that Sunday before this past Monday. I already had a plan. Because the same plan that I'm doing now is the same plan that I had when I had my kids, but obviously I couldn't, work on that plan becoming a thing. But now I don't have kids. I don't have nothing in my way stopping that plan. So I'm not sure if you were tuned in. I have a plan. I have two. Well, now I have two presumed two incomes or whatever. One is about to start here in a couple days on the 14th. The other one, I'm getting my license for that. I should be done with them probably by the ending of next week. So that'll be 2 jobs. I still got a little something on the side. So all of that money I'm taking and investing in into other things, like I said, multiple streams of income. It all adds up to the bigger picture, and yeah,
Okay.
multiple streams of income.
I'm going to jump down, but I really do pray for the safety of your children, and I hope they come back to you safe and sound and happy and in a better situation.
Yes, thank you.
All right, alchemizing energy. Go ahead.
Hey, Amora. So I want to ask a question. So, you live. I'm not sure where you live at. I didn't get to see the very beginning of this interview, but
Yeah.
have you ever considered that maybe where you are, where you've been living at, maybe might not be a good place to like, make money at? Like maybe you're in like a place where the money's not flowing, and maybe you should like probably like reconsider like moving to another place, another area.
Um, I I have I can definitely assure you I have, but it's just right now. I'm in Ohio to answer your question, by the way. So I'm in Ohio. Living anywhere else, the cost of living is almost 3 times as high. So if I'm struggling in Ohio, I'm for sure bound to struggle somewhere else. So I rather why I don't have kids, go ahead and
Okay, so
build funds, maintain them to where I can probably move to another place where I can actually get a flow of income better. If
let
that
me
makes
say
sense.
this. I'm from Ohio, okay? I like my family lives in Steubenville, Ohio, okay? One thing I can say is that like the Midwest is kind of dead. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it might be better to move to a more flowing area. Like if you're going into like medical field, things like that, you might be better off like probably going to a more like a area where it's more like a better economy. That's what I did. That's how I was able to like even help me and get to the point because I was homeless. I was actually homeless at one point. But you know what I'm saying? So I understand where you're coming from. And unfortunately, Ohio is dead. It's the Midwest. The whole economy is dead. So, I get it that it's probably cheaper to live there, but you might find a better like life by trying to figure out like another place, figure out where the economy's better in the field that you're trying to get into, and then be able to take your children and bring them to that area. So I'm
Yep,
just
I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. And that is why I've been in school since January for my national medical assistant license. So when I am good and well ready to leave Ohio, no matter what state I go to, I have a for sure job because I have my national license.
yeah, and trust me, the reason why I know this because I lived in Ohio. I lived in like Steubenville, like the Midwest. The Midwest itself is over with. You know what I'm saying? The auto industry, all that is all industrial. You know what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
that whole industrial area is gone. That's the reason why you're probably struggling so much because you're in a area that the actual economy was based on the auto industry, the food industry, all that stuff. So
Yeah, you're right.
so you have to like go to a thriving area, and then you'll be able to like take your kids and then be able to like be more, you know.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I definitely agree with you. That's why like I said, I'm working on getting my national license. I just have to do my exam and my mock exam. So if you guys do have any study tips, send them my way, please. But yeah, like I got my license for a national purpose. So wherever I do move, I have a for sure job, which I can then use, to get on my feet and then branch out and do everything. Because also, because the national like the license that I am getting, I can work at any type of doctor's office. So I could work at two, and I could probably even make triple the money working in one office if I just use my national license and travel as a traveling medical assistant.
All right,
And
thank you.
I could probably make about $90,000 to $100,000 a year. So I definitely for sure will be continuing to get that license. My exam is like 2 weeks. So if y'all want to help me study, please do so.
And hold on. I just want to make this clear. I'm not saying to run so that she can run away from her problems. Sometimes you are in the wrong place. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Sometimes you're in the wrong location to be successful. So it might. Listen. I've worked with like women that have had to move from a certain location, and they were more successful in another location. I know that she is not trying to abandon her children. I know that. She would not be sitting up here if she was not. You know what I'm saying? If she was. The bottom line is that she needs more opportunity. She needs to move to a place where there is more opportunity. There's no opportunity in Ohio. It might be cheaper and you might have cheaper rent, but it might be better to go somewhere else where you might be have a better opportunity to come back, get your kids, bring them to where you are.
Now
And
it's one thing to place my kids somewhere and be in the same city as them, but I don't know if I'm that comfortable with I'll travel somewhere and go get the money and come back for right now. But I think if I do move out of Ohio, I want to make sure my kids are with me, because if something happens in an emergency, I need to make sure I'm 15 minutes away, 20 minutes away, 10 minutes. I need to make sure I'm close, because I can't catch a flight in an emergency. I got
hey,
to be there.
Pennsylvania ain't that far from Ohio. Like, I mean, there's different like cities.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? I ain't gonna lie. I ain't think about that, because like
Thank
Kentucky,
you.
Indiana, 2
You
hours away and
understand?
stuff. Yeah.
Shay, there we go. So much love, peace.
Thank you.
All right, so we got Be For Real on here. We're gonna go to Be For Real in a second, but while you were talking, I thought about it. So, what do you think the timeline is while you'll be away from your kids? That is gonna need you. What is the timeline that you need to get yourself together to get them back? Like, how long realistically do you think it's gonna take for you to get to where you want to be financially stable to get them back?
Um. Obviously, it's probably gonna take a couple years to actually be rich, like the way I think I want to be in my head. But realistically, to get up on my feet and be financially stable and have it to where it's maintained, maybe 6 months. Because honestly, in 2 months, with both jobs and stuff, I could be cool. But I want to make sure I have that, that extra money in the savings and stuff like that for emergencies. I want to make sure that when I come back, if anything happens, I can, I can handle that and still have nothing to worry about. I can still continue to make money. Like, I'm gonna just say 6 months to a year, but for real, honestly, I made sure I did all the calculating, the numbers and things like that. 6 months, 6 months is when I would love to be coming back for my kids, but also with a lot of the things.
Realistically, like, well, you say 6 months, you would love to, but like, what's your realistic timeline that you feel like you really gonna need?
6 months.
6 months?
Yeah, because like, it's not like I'm just now jumping in school for my license. Like, all I got to do is just take my test and boom, I got my national license. I already got the one job, and by the end of next week, I'm gonna already have the other job, which also I forgot to tell you guys. I'm not gonna tell you what company, but also with that job, they also, because they heard my story too. So the owner of that company, the job that he gave me is like two positions in the one, but with that one, um, how can I put it? I can work like a effing dog if I want to. Let's just say that, like, it's uncapped, so I can really work if I want to. So 6 months for sure, because I already have
I'm
things
trying
lined
to
up
put
as
you
well as
on,
the
but
other opportunities.
put the extracurriculars down.
Oh, okay. All right. All right.
I love the shirt.
With the extracurricular thing.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, look, I only wanted to come in there because I'm a man, and you know what I'm saying. I do content, and I've been watching it. It's like, look, man, I went to foster care when I was a kid with my siblings. It's just like you got an answer for everything but the situation regarding the 5 kids. It's like every time they ask you about a job, you got it. Oh, if I leave this state, oh, I got 2 more waiting for me. Oh, I got bachelor. Oh, I'm going to lobotomy. Like, it's like you got an answer for everything. Like, I don't
Keeps you
get it.
going. Are you saying I have an answer for everything except for about the kids?
Yes, it's like you got an answer for everything. If you leave this state, you got 8 jobs lined up. You got situations. You got sad. You got sad situations. It's like you got answers for everything, but the situation to make you put your. And then this was the main one. You did
Did
not
you
put.
just tune in?
You did not put food in 3 homes. Like, let's be real. You did not do that. You did not take your food stamps and go buy food for 3 homes and then said, here, y'all, here go 150 for y'all. The next home, here go 150 for y'all. You know you didn't do that. Let's be real.
Sir, respectfully, on you I did, because I didn't have 150. I had
No, I've been in the
$1,300.
foster care. I know
And
how this
also,
goes. You did not do that.
I'm sorry
And
your
my
mom
mom,
didn't do that for you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry your mom didn't do that for you. But I did it for mine. And
I
that's
know. That's what I'm saying. You did not do that. No, because you got to answer for everything.
Did you just tune in? Or you've been
No, you got
watching
to answer
since she
for
started?
everything, though, sis. You said it's gonna take 3 years. Be real, man. You just wanted to get out here in the culture, and you just didn't want your kids with you no more. Keep it real. You just need a little break. It's hard for single moms, but we told y'all. We told y'all not to lay down with nothing niggas. And if you was, wear condoms, but y'all didn't want to listen. And niggas, no, we ain't listening to y'all. And now y'all see with the red pill community that we was not lying. And even with the Prince Sellers, you see, he wasn't lying.
Just one thing. Can you stop yelling? Because it's kind of making you like muffled and cut out.
You right, because this is Neek's platform, and I don't want to do too much.
Yeah. And like I said, I do apologize. Your mom didn't do that for you, but I did do that for my kids. You're not with me. I don't know who you are. So you're really nobody for me to prove that to. But the foster parents know I
Oh
did
no,
that.
my
And
mom's
kids
great.
know I did
We
that.
got 8 of us, and we good. Yeah, I got in trouble, but I turned my life around, became a popular barber and a popular YouTuber, so I'm cool.
Hey, congratulations. I mean,
But
that's
I
really
stopped
good.
making excuses. I was one of them niggas that ran around robbing people, putting guns in people's faces, but I stopped making excuses. I
I
became a
mean, I don't know what
successful
to tell
barber.
you. I mean,
I'm
if I
one of
wasn't,
Pittsburgh's most successful barbers, and I stopped making excuses, man. You did not take money to 3 homes. You did not do that, though, Ken.
Do you have a question for her outside of that?
Yeah, I
yeah,
just want to ask why
I
she
need to
keep
ask her.
capping and won't she just be real? Hold some accountability on yourself.
I don't think you've been listening. Just
You got
when this
8
post, go back and
situations. You
listen.
know what I'm saying?
Just go back and listen. I'll talk to you another time. Just go back and listen to this post. I don't think you've really been listening to anything.
Oh,
I'm
that's
sorry.
cool.
I
So
can
thanks,
only tell
Neek. I
my truth,
appreciate it, Neek.
sir.
I'll
I'll let you
like,
talk.
comment, and
Be quiet.
subscribe and everything. Thanks
I
for
can
letting me
only
on so
tell
I can
my
get back
truth
to them
regardless of how you
extracurricular
feel.
activities. Appreciate
Regardless of
it,
how you
Neek.
feel, I can only tell my truth. I'm sorry your mom didn't still look out for you when she gave you up. That's not my problem. I'm sorry.
All right. Be for real.
Oh, and by the way, everybody's opinions and whatnot is very well respected, regardless of how you feel. I can only tell my truth. That's all. But I respect everything you guys say and how you feel. But it's my life. But yes, let's be real.
I agree with the last caller. I don't feel like you're taking any accountability. You chose to lay down with them kids, to have those kids, and you did it
God,
more
girl.
than once. You did it a couple of times, and I done it too. And I
Really
take
quick, ma'am.
accountability for the men that I laid down with and had kids with. You're not taking accountability, and that's why everybody is getting upset and like you didn't
I
want them
don't.
kids in the beginning.
I don't know if you're really slow or you're just not listening. I've definitely taken
I think you're
accountability.
slow.
No, I
I
think
think
you're
you're
really slow.
slow. I think
I'll
you're
wait, because you want
yeah.
the
Go
answer.
ahead,
I
go
already
ahead.
got all
I'll
the
let
answers.
you
I'll
talk.
wait.
Go ahead,
Go right ahead. Go right ahead. I'll wait.
go ahead. You talk.
Oh, okay.
Explain
So,
yourself.
I don't know exactly what type of accountability I can really take at being raped at 15. I don't know if you heard me say I was really stupid when I met my youngest son's dad. The red flags was there, but I was naive. Um, I mean, like I said, I've been a mom since I was 15. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, some shit I didn't. I'm here now. I'm trying to change my life now, and that's all that matters. You can bash me for my past, or you can just keep watching me progress, because it's gonna happen regardless. You guys feel like I didn't take the initiative to do this, do that, and do that. Whether I chose to have these kids or whatever, the fact of the matter is, I still can't ask these dads for help. Y'all still bashing me. Y'all talking about
You're
stuff
not the
I've
only
literally
one,
already.
sweetheart. You're not the only
You're
one.
asking me about things and talking to me
And
about
we
things I've
still do
already
it. Like, come
addressed.
on, man.
Some things I've already addressed. It's not my fault that you're not comprehending or you're not willing to listen. I can only tell my truth. The truth can never be a diss. You're not there. You don't know what I am doing, what I'm not doing, and neither is the other guy. You guys are outsiders to me. So, like I said, your opinions are very much respected, but I don't really give a damn.
All right, we're gonna go to T May. After T May is gonna be 2 more, then we're gonna end it.
Hey, Neek. Hey, Amara. And guard down, sweetheart. I'm not here to attack you at all, period.
Oh no, it's
Um,
fine. And
uh,
hi.
Hi, honey. Blessings to you, your family, everything that you're going through. And shame, honestly, on some of them people down there in that chat. Um,
I haven't
Instead
read
of
it.
judging and discouraging this young woman who clearly did not have guidance that maybe some of you all were blessed with. Maybe she didn't have the resources, the tools, but she's learning. And it sounds like she's learning on her own. And she's trying every which way, right, left, and loose. So instead of judging her and discouraging her, uplift this black woman.
But
Y'all
what
want to talk about how you support and you love these things and all this black woman power and all this, and then you see this young woman and you see her situation and you can't even find a piece of yourself to feel a little bit of empathy, sympathy, whatever word I'm looking for. But instead of discouraging her and judging her, like, dang, just
you
try to
know
uplift
what?
her a little bit.
What you
Goodness
said I
Lord.
wholeheartedly really respect, because you know how you just said I didn't have the guidance. What I forgot to even mention to you, Nick, is my actual upbringing. So I'm gonna tell you like how I was raised, like my upbringing, who my parental figures were. Um, so my mom, I mean, obviously she's cool now, but probably up until I was like maybe 3, 4, or 5, one of the three ages, I can't really tell you a moment where my mom wasn't sober, because she was an alcoholic. And then my dad was not in my life at all, because, before I was born, he was like into gang violence and stuff. And he's not like mentally all the way there, because he was, with his gang violence, he was shot 3 times in the head and 2 times in the chest. And somehow he still miraculously, survived. So, but, mentally he's not there. So the only person who did like, step in as my father figure was my stepmom. And she's been, she's had her habit of her own since before I was born. And, it's, yeah. So, for honestly, I've taught my older sister taught me, but also I taught myself everything I know. So no, I don't have the right answers. Just like everybody, there's not a right, there's not a right or wrong. Okay, there's a wrong way to parent, but there's not a rule book to do it the right way. You learn as you go. Some of you guys even still bashing me are still learning yourselves, and it's fine. We're all still learning. That's a part of life. You live to learn. Some people learn
Exactly.
differently. So
You live,
I
you learn, and you will learn uh, on your own time, on your own path, as long as you know in your heart that you are doing what you feel like is best for you and your children. Everybody else's opinions and anything else that they got to say about the way that you are handling your particular situation really has nothing to do with you. You just make sure that you stay connected to your children. You just make sure that you do for you and your children. So,
thank you.
whatever that looks like for you and your family, you do whatever you got to do to pursue that.
Hmm.
Keep your children first. Okay. Keep your
Yeah.
children first. Make sure that you are praying and move in positivity. And I wish you nothing but blessings and prosperity and safety for your kids and just all the well, because you're gonna see the other side of this.
Thank you
Okay,
so much.
of
Thank you.
course.
And I needed that. I do see everybody's messages of support and stuff in my inbox. It's just too many to reply to. I see all y'all's messages, and thank you, because those are the ones that do lift me up.
You so welcome, honey. You have a good night.
You too.
All right. Thank you, T May. Deanna Camaro.
Happy Mother's Day, Neek.
Oh, thank you.
Bro, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm doing well. Do you, all this was confusing me. So you don't have your kids, right?
Yes, correct.
So I'm not even gonna disrespect you. I'm just gonna give you my opinion and leave it just because it's Mother's Day and I got time. I commend you for even having the courage to come up here, face whatever the backlash be of your situation and all. But what I feel like is with your situation and how ironic it's and you on here and you don't even have your kids. So I think it'd be a slap in the face to them, and it's not even something you doing on purpose. The mother, I would rather struggle with your kids than with because as a child, and I'm young and I have kids of my own, but I'm still on the younger side, and I can see both perspectives. I would rather struggle with my mother knowing that my mother gave me up or, you know what I'm saying, put me to the side so it can get right. Because all believe that God does hit, God give his battles to stronger soldiers. And I might be in there wrong, but in a sense, you'd be able to get what I'm saying. So, like that during your hardest battle, you gave them up. You know what I'm saying?
Turn your
I think
Wi-Fi
you
off
are
on
doing
your
them.
phone or something, because it's kind of like this. The connection is not that good. Maybe your Wi-Fi not that strong. If you cut it off, maybe.
I'm not even on Wi-Fi. Maybe I should get on Wi-Fi.
Yeah, get on. Maybe get on or
Can you
whichever
hear?
one.
Can you hear? More?
It's a little muffled, a little low.
All right, hold on, y'all. Maybe it's not to be said because you know what I'm saying. Maybe it's not to be said. Hold on, more.
Yeah, no, you're fine. No
Did you
rush. I
hear
mean, like I
anything
said,
I was saying?
everybody's opinion is respected.
Yeah. Did you hear what I was saying though at all?
Yeah, I heard what you said, but if you could just kind of run through it one more time, but like sum it up.
I'm gonna summarize it because it might not be meant for you. You know what I'm saying? To be on your mind today because you've had a long day already. I was just saying God give His hardest battles to His strongest soldiers. You giving up your I never believe in a woman giving up their kids, and it's just how ironic that you up here today on Mother's Day without your kids. I think that you're doing them a disservice by you know what I'm saying. Not whatever you go through it with them because you know you might not see a bright day tomorrow, but there's gonna be a brighter day tomorrow, as long as you seek that. So you giving up your kids and all that in the midst of whatever you got going on, you doing yourself a disservice. But I do commend you for facing this backlash that you're gonna get from this situation, whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But as a mother, and you've been through some trauma, because you know what I'm saying. Most people who end up in these type of situations have been through trauma and stuff like that. But nobody's gonna give you that excuse or that pass that you deserve. Let me, you know what I'm saying. Let me hit on that. You deserve a pass, but in this world, you won't get that. So you giving up on your kids and all that. You know what I'm saying. In my opinion, I think you're doing them a disservice because you will be making stronger kids of them if you go through that with them and you know what I'm saying and y'all go through that situation together because if you always look for I want to be financially stable in 6 months or have this money saved up, this is not the time for that. You will never see those type of times. Like it's people out here check to check or don't even know where the next meal gonna come from, but they sticking it out with their family and stuff. And you know what I'm saying. And in the end, you might not even see like where y'all gonna end up or whatever, but in the end, you might raise a doctor, you might raise a who knows what you'll raise, but sticking it out, that's just my opinion or whatever. And it's Mother's Day. I don't want to harp on that too much. I think I just commend you for coming on here, do your thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm praying for you, love. Neek, happy Mother's Day, love. All y'all do y'all thing. I
Wait,
just
may I
want
ask you a question?
go
Thank
ahead.
you.
Go ahead.
Now, question. You said you think I did them a disservice, right? Now, do
All
you
right.
think I'm doing them a disservice by, I mean, mind you, I still legally have custody of my kids. I know where they are. I chose where they're placed. You
Mm-hmm.
know, the children's services is not involved whatsoever. So I see my kids. I know what's going on, right? Do you
Mm-hmm.
think I'm doing a disservice now versus me going back into sleeping into abandoned houses that ain't got no back door, no boarded windows, you know, who knows, it could be a junk house or whatever. Well, what if I took them back to this homeless shelter where people are dying? There really ain't no security, and they're once again first time they saw somebody get shot up with a needle. And you know, granted the other things we've been through. Do you
No,
think I'm
I
doing
feel
them a
you.
disservice by placing them in a better position versus going back and putting them into a worse position where
But you
they
said
can
you got
get
a place
traumatized.
right now, don't you? You said you still have your place, right?
As of right now, but that's still up in the air
No.
because they actually already put the leave the premises notice on my door. And this is
So
already because, you know, the situation with the fire and all that other stuff. And that's not for last month's rent. Last month was cool. I would have had this month's rent had they not pulled that stuff at, you
Wait,
know,
so
the
you
middle of
had
last.
2 fires? I thought the first fire was in
No.
2018.
You said what?
I thought the last fire was in 2018. You had 2 fires?
No, I went to jail for the first and only time in 2018. The fire is what happened, like, you know, with this job and stuff, why I can't, you know, with the situation with this month. I've only had one fire.
Oh, that's probably what I kept getting confused on. I kept thinking that the fire happened around the time that you went to jail, and then
Nah. Yeah, no, the fire happened. You have to go back. You probably gonna have to go back and watch the video. The fire is what happened, like, you know, the recently. I didn't go to jail, you know, until back in 2018, and that's the only time I've been to jail. So the fire is, you know, recent.
okay.
so
But
yeah,
yeah.
let me
So do
answer
you think I
that.
would have disserviced them
Yeah,
by putting them in a better position to where I can alleviate our because this would
let
have
me
been me if had I kept them. This would have been
yeah.
me repeating history.
Yeah, let me fill you in. I'm gonna answer that real quick. I do think you're doing them a disservice by doing that because it's easier to look for an excuse than to stick it out and deal with your situation because you're in a situation to where somebody might be more willing to help you with you trying with your kids than you telling your story about your kids. You get what I'm saying? Like you might get swept off your feet the next day. Somebody might feel sympathy for your situation as long as you trying from everybody on her channel, it doesn't look like you're trying. And I feel that because it's Mother's Day and you got the time to be on here and you're just thinking about the worst case scenario. You're not even in the worst case scenario yet. You just saying, I might lose this house. I might not keep it. You got a whole car. It's people out here with their kids that ain't even got a vehicle, ain't got a pot to piss in and a window to throw it out. But they can't see themselves throwing a not having a kids. And guess what? And this will be my last point before I roll and let her have her do her thing. I
Yeah.
think that you have been so traumatized in your life that you are putting yourself in the situation of your kids instead of putting yourself in the situation of the mother of your kids. You victimizing yourself, and you might be rightfully so because I haven't been through what you've been through. But I think that you putting yourself in the situation of your kids, like we all victims. But once they come out of your body, I don't want to be too vulgar, but once they come out of your body, you're no longer a victim no more.
I see where you're trying to like angle this or whatever. I'm gonna just have to disagree. And I
Go
would say
ahead.
maybe I am a little traumatized. Maybe I have been so traumatized before that I refuse to put my kids in traumatizing situations that they've already been in before. Because you know how you said maybe if I just asked for help or you know what I would have got more help had I stayed with my kids. The reason I don't have my kids is because I couldn't get no type of help when I had my
Let me
kids.
give
So
you an
where is that
example.
help that you were speaking of?
Let me give you an example. If you would have been in that car that you in right now, and your kids would have been behind you, and you would have been telling your story, Neek would have probably had you in a position where folks would have been cash apping you. Now, folks are trying to you know what I'm saying, find holes in your story. You could have came on this show and got help and probably been in a whole other situation. But it's like, you know what I'm saying, you look for an excuse. I'm done. That's my last words. I just want to say happy Mother's Day to y'all. It's Mother's Day. I don't want to be over here on here shaming you and none of that.
So yeah.
I commend you for coming on here. I salute y'all. All right, Nick.
All
Thank
right.
you. Have a good night.
All right. So how you feeling, Amora? There is 1, 2, 3, 4 people backstage. We don't have to take any more if you don't want to, but it's up to you if you want to speak to anybody else.
No, we can. I'm not feeling, you know, angry, hurt. Like, don't be wrong. Like, there are some things like people will get on here and, you know, say like something, and I'm like, I don't know if you haven't been listening the entire time or, you know, or what, because some things they just don't want to listen to. They just refuse to hear, and that's not my problem. You know, they're gonna feel how they feel. Like I said, I can only tell my truth. If they don't if they don't think that's the truth, I don't know what to tell them. But I mean, I'm more than comfortable to, keep talking to whoever. That's fine.
Okay, hold on. Let's
It
take.
was cool.
We'll do two more and then we'll be done. I mean, we'll do Nikki and one other person, then we'll be done. Nikki, hello. Unmute your mic.
Hi. Yes. Okay. My name is Nikki or Nicole. God bless y'all. Happy Mother's Day. I'm staying up late. This is actually my birthday.
Hey, happy
And I'm like,
birthday.
I'm standing up. Thank you. I wanted to talk to you. So I'm not wishy-washy. You're gonna take this both ways. I've been in your shoes. I've been in your children's shoes too. Okay.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna try to talk to you as a big sister. I turned 41 today. So
Okay.
I'm gonna show you love, but at the same time, you might take it as tough love. When you said you was at a shelter and people was using needles, I felt that because that's why I clicked on here to tell you. I had two children at the time. I have five now, like you, but I had two at the time, and I was experiencing death threats due to my brother. He killed some people, and so in the town I lived in, I was shunned, and people were threatening my children's lives, you name it. And my mom wasn't going to help me because I was in a girl's home, myself, and she disappeared. I didn't have family support. I had nobody. And mind you, my brother is in prison. Okay. So his family that adopted him, I never got adopted. They took in my son, which I would regret. I didn't want to do that because I said, if
Hmm.
you're going to take one kid, take the other. And they didn't. And that's what really broke my heart. But he was a boy, and it's hard to get into a shelter with boys. They let me come in with my daughter. She did not crawl. She didn't move. She didn't do, I mean, she was, I'm not gonna say she didn't move, but she was always with me. She didn't crawl yet. When I
Yeah.
got to the shelter, it was people with they use drugs so bad you could smell it in their wounds.
Yeah.
Needles everywhere on the floor. I woke up one night, the first night my daughter ever crawled. She was reaching for the needle. I
And that
broke
sounds
down and I cried.
horrible.
I cried. I prayed to God. You know, I prayed so hard. And they gave me a caseworker the next day. Mind you, at this shelter, they had people that was like peer support specialists that used to be on drugs as well. So they would just let it go. I said, they got needles. My baby, they did not care. They said, this is what goes on here. You did not get into a shelter with a mom for kids, okay? So I'm not gonna lie to you. I called Child Protective Services on myself, and they said, "What are you calling them on yourself for?" I said, "Because somebody got my son. I don't have nobody to get my daughter, and in this situation, I'm afraid for her life because I don't know what this person has. And look at the blister. And I wasn't trying to be judgmental, but I'm just being
Hmm.
realistic. And you know what the caseworker told me? She said, if you would have stayed there another night, knowing that they had needles around and they didn't even have a packing plate to give me, she said, we would have took your kids and said it was neglectful. She said, Child Protective Services not to take your kids away. It's to strengthen families. And they gave me a caseworker who put me into a family shelter, which is embarrassing for me to even say this on here. But God is telling me to tell you this. They took me, and I was so happy to call the people who had my son. I got him back too. We went to the family women's shelter. And I know that I want to do peer support or a nonprofit organization to help people like you, but I was in your shoes where I called on myself to let my daughter go somewhere. I had no one else. And when she literally was picking up that needle, I had to go to the hospital. I had to get her tested. I wasn't neglectful. I was scared. Like, what if she got pricked? She can't tell me. Her first day crawling, I lie to her. I don't even, when she say, how did I crawl? I don't never tell her how. So I feel where you coming from, but I do. That's my background story. So when I say this next thing, don't take it the wrong way, like I'm trying to be mean to you. I
No, you're
feel where
fine.
you coming from. I have a friend, and she asked me for help with her three kids, and I took them for years. And then she moved to your state, Ohio. You might not know the name of what you have. It's called a kinship, where they're not family, but they're kin, and they let them get them so they don't go into foster care.
Yep, that's what I'm doing right now.
Yes, ma'am. So I've been studying, I've been doing school, I've been doing volunteer work. And people always say, why do you volunteer? And I never broke down and told my story. And I don't know how I told on this national thing, but God is telling me to. This is the first time that I've done it. And
Honestly, because I'm sorry. Go
my
ahead.
friend, my friend, her story was different. Her story was, I had her kids for a few years, but
Mhm.
Ohio. So I get what the lady saying about the Midwest. I'm in Detroit, but
Mhm.
Ohio is funny because they wouldn't let me keep her kids because I'm in Detroit, and I went through a lot of red tape to try to get them back because she said I want my kids back. She took them back, but then she just gave them the CPS for a utility bill when I would have gave her the money, or I would have took the kids back again. And they did get split up. And I'm not trying to be mean to tell you this. The young man, he's an adult now. He's like 20. He's upset that they're split up. So you're gonna have to work hard. And this is the gray area that I'm gonna ask you this question because I'm
Mhm.
on the fence. I don't know if you it's like me where you just I called them because I really wanted help. I got what I wanted. I got what I prayed for. I cried out to God. I took my daughter. I made sure she didn't have nothing when when she was grabbing the needle. She was a baby, but they did help me and they put me into a shelter with her, and I got to get my son all is at the same shelter. But my
Mhm.
friend, she asked me to keep her kids, and she was partying, and then she started making a bunch of money from different sources of incomes, just as you are saying. And I'm not trying to be funny. You remind me of both stories. You remind me of me struggling, and then again you remind me of her where it seemed like she felt like with her kids she couldn't finish school. You have to be careful. You have girls that are babies. They're going to get
Mhm.
whoever had those kids. I don't care who they are. They're going to get attached to them. See, yes, everybody know about SA assault and all that in foster care, but what about the perfect?
But what about the what?
I don't know if her thing went out or something.
Okay, we back. So you
Oh,
got to look at that too. Think about both. Think about the abuse, and then think about the attachment where the kids thinking that that's their parent, and then they might not want to come to you. So you can't take all day, and you can't get up there probably when you wealthy, but not while they going. You could do what you can. Finish your classes, okay? I don't know how to use this so well. This is my first time. That's my email address. It's plenty of agencies, that I know to try to help you with, and I know how to do research. I've done it before. I just never told people why. Okay. I have another thing that I did that was humiliating when I had my kids that I am ashamed of because people won't trust me if I say it online. But I actually, when that guy was just saying you'll do anything, you will struggle with your kids. I stole something and I never stole before. I stole formula for my baby because I was breastfeeding. I had no more milk. And her dad was in the military. And I called the commander. The commander said, if you love your kids, you will steal for them. I went to social services first. I said, hey, I need help. They said, your kids don't have on socks. It's cold. But I just got them back from Florida with my mother. We just came back from Florida. So I didn't have Michigan, in the Midwest is cold. So
Yeah.
I went to places when he's saying that these people will help you, sometimes they don't. Now I guarantee you he right. If they was in the car with you, they help because it's shown on TV. But I have been in a predicament where people did not help me,
Yeah.
with
And
the
that's
kids.
that's that's kind of where I'm at because I do see where he was coming from, but I don't think he actually understands that I'm in this position because I've asked for help with my kids. My oldest son is 11 years. I've asked for help with my kids. I've actually done it before on live. Never got no type of help. So,
And you're
like
gonna
I said,
have to
I
get
thought
your
they were
shit together,
serious.
excuse my French, before your son get older and get angry like that first guy to come on here, because that's what usually happens when they older and they get put in there. I told you I'm gonna be real. I have a big heart. I'm a Taurus, but I'm blunt too.
And
What's gonna
I
happen
wasn't
is
even
your
trying to
son is
be.
gonna be angry and those two babies is gonna get attached. So you're gonna have to get a community to help you before those things happen. You don't want him to be angry like you took too long, and you don't want them babies to get attached like you're not the mother. Because what's gonna happen is whoever got them, that's a couple, not knocking them, God bless them, but they not gonna be able to help but get attached. I have 5 of my own. When people ask me how many kids I have, I say 8 because I still count the 3 that used to live with me for 3 years. So you got to get your shit together before that happens, because then
Yep.
that's gonna be another trauma in itself when they get pulled away from them because they got so used to them. Ain't no 2 years, ain't no 3 years. And even with kinship, when you have somebody have temporary custody, they can keep them after about 2 years. Okay,
Oh, yep.
so you got to do what you got to do. And if you want to message me, and you serious, I could help you. But I'm let you know, if I try to help you, I see through bullshit. I'm a bull. I see it coming. If that's what it is. But I do understand you not wanting your kids to struggle. I do understand, them having to have what they need. All the extra stuff what you want and all the extra money, that's a dream. But who's to say you can't have a dream that is a plan?
Oh
And
yes, yes.
sometimes you don't have a plan, to be honest, because they're saying you did this to your kids. What was your plan? When I called CPS on myself, I didn't have no plan. All I knew was that tomorrow night I'm not gonna be able to sleep because what if my baby grabbed that needle? What if they use? I asked them to even change my bed next to someone else, and they did not. So
Hmm.
that I understand. But I knew when I called them, I knew I really wanted them to help me keep my baby. But that was my last resort, and I prayed on it and fast before I even called, and God answered my prayer. Okay, you don't want nobody to have your kids. You don't want the anger issues. You don't want the attachment where they won't want to come back either.
Yeah, and I have thought about that, and that's why I do make sure I see all my kids, and even if I can't physically see them, every single day, because sometimes I'm busy, I'm school or
Right.
this thing, so even if I don't see them every day physically, I'm seeing them every other day, and the days like that in between day, it's a phone call, it's a video chat, I'm making sure I pick them all up, because I can pick all my kids up at free will at any given time. So what I do is I definitely make sure I pick them all up. I see them all every day or talk to them every day, and I bring them to I pick them up so they all can see each other. So they're not really missing too much time away from each other. Um, so I definitely I have completely thought about that because I wasn't even trying to be funny towards that guy, because I could kind of tell that he was angry because obviously he went through, just like he said, he went through some stuff
Yeah,
that.
because both gentlemen said the same things, and the other one was more respectful. But as to the only thing was when he said you capping about the food, I didn't like that because
Because he doesn't know.
when I had my fire, both my kids was with their family members because Red Cross only gave me 3 days at a hotel because I've been through a lot more than one time. And I was praying like, why am I going through this? Why am I going through this? But all the programs that I've found out now that I have sent a lot of people about, I would not have known if I didn't go through a lot of different things.
Hmm.
So you sometimes you go for it to through things for those reasons, but I am praying for those kids. You email me, you message me, and I would like to do like peer support with you. There are certain businesses that you can do in Ohio. What you have to do is find certain things that the government pay you for, and it's certain things, and I have things that I've done as far as petitions. You ever see them saying, hey, can you sign this petition? Are you a
Man,
registered voter? You
yeah.
might not want to do that, but I used to do that with my baby with me. I was breastfeeding. Give me $5 a signature.
I'm
And
not gonna
you
make it
see,
seem
you
like I've
like to
never done it
talk.
before. It could be some
Yeah,
money.
but you talk. You could do it. You get 200 signatures a day. Mind you, you have 2 boards at a time. You get what I'm saying? Stuff like that. And
Hmm.
my kids was right there with me. And I'm not telling you this because people don't know it. I'm not trying to say, oh, you could have did that. But now I'm just
Hmm.
telling you something that you can do if you have to. But you take the time you need for your licensing and keep seeing your kids. You have your money saved up from your other hustles. I don't care if it is stripping. I love God, but I get what you're saying because if you desperate to get your kids back, you get your babies back and you get your certification. You stop talking too much about all the stuff you did because some of that stuff you did, you shouldn't have done. You stay out of trouble.
Yeah, like I don't mind
Stay
talking about
out
my
of
past.
trouble. Stay
And
out of trouble.
even you grow. Hmm.
Stay out of trouble. And ask those couples, can they bring your kids to church with you? If you go to church, if that's your faith, at least do that. Okay. And I need you to stay out of trouble, finish school. Okay. And whatever you do, fast and pray on what your move should be. Okay.
Hmm. Thank you
And
so
get
much.
those kids back. Get them babies back. Do not wait. Do not wait. As soon as you can, I'm telling you, they'll get attached. And thank you, Miss Neat. And it's the first. Notice the second time I watched you, and you make. I'm probably gonna be embarrassed myself because people gonna recognize my voice. But I feel like I didn't. If I would have went through all of that, it'd have been in vain if I didn't talk to her.
Right. Thank you so much for coming up
Thank
and giving
you.
her encouraging words and speaking life into her situation. So I'm sure she definitely gonna hit you up, and she's on Instagram as well. If you got Instagram, you can go to her Instagram page.
Yes, please, because I
Okay.
can't. It's my first time working this, and it's really, really little, so I can't see. So please, um, I'm definitely interested in any resources and things. You know, like I said, I'm taking everything. I will take all the help that I can get.
Okay. I don't have Instagram. I'll try to get it, but my thing is SHARYA like Patterson PATTERSON @gmail.com.
All right. After the interview, she'll just have to screenshot it and make it bigger. But thank
Okay.
you.
And what's your Instagram?
Oh, it's Lamborghini_Lex.
Okay.
All right. All right. Nana is our last caller. Sorry to everybody else that's waiting, but I am tired. I had a long day. So I'm trying to stay, stay with it, but we'll see.
Hey, can you hear me?
And I might go to the other ones. Let me just one question a piece,
Hello.
and then let's go.
Hey,
One question each.
hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hey. So, just a few questions. So, I heard you saying that you're, planning on getting your kids back and things like that. But, my main question would be, like, why did you continue to have more children if you felt like the responsibility was too much to bear? With the like, just say two or three. Like, if you had two or three already, like, what made you keep going on to have more kids?
So if I already had two or three, which at that time I did, so I'm guessing you're wanting to know why I had the twins. I wasn't trying to have the twins. That was actually pretty much like a, how can I? We'll just say it was like a freak accident because I was on birth control when I got pregnant with the twins. But the reason why, I would have been cool if I did not pop the Plan B. But when I popped the Plan B, my birth control and the Plan B canceled each other out. And when I found out that I was pregnant, I was already 4 months. I didn't have time for, I didn't. I was well past that time frame for an abortion, which would have been the first and only time I've ever considered abortion. Because of course I wanted one when I was 15 through 18, but yeah. So
So, okay,
um
so you said you were on birth control.
yeah, I was
So
on birth control.
so why did you take the Plan B? And if you were on birth control and you took the Plan B, how did it cancel, each other out? Because I know with Plan Bs, if you're ovulating, then it won't take place. But how were you on birth control and still take the Plan B? Because
So
wouldn't
I
the
was
birth
on
control
birth
be enough?
control and so I was on birth control and I still took the Plan B because I already have a birth control baby. So I was
Okay.
making sure that after he pretty much did what he did, like I said, I already have a birth control baby. I didn't want no more.
Mm,
So I'm like, okay, more likely if this shit fails, boom, I got the Plan B, which is the backup. I didn't know,
okay.
like, whatever chemicals is in birth control and Plan B or whatever. I learned that at the hospital. So if you are on birth control and you take a Plan B, you're already fucked. So don't do it. So
Okay,
but
well,
yeah,
we can, yeah, so that's fine. Okay, well, my next question, so you're saying like you don't have the financial stability and things of that nature, but you're on Facebook talking about you're outside tonight and who got the big za and things like that. So it's like, how can, those kids sleep at night? You're outside, shaking ass, excuse my French, but you shaking ass, living life, smoking that good za, but them kids got to readjust to pretty much being in a whole nother environment, but you're living your best life outside right now. And yeah, you keep bringing up school, but every day you don't go to school. I'm in school full time. I work and I DoorDash. I got 3 kids of my own. I ain't never gonna give my kids up. I know every situation is different, but if I did give my kids up, I wouldn't be online saying I'm finna go outside tonight. Where the Zai at? We lit. I'm at the stew. We lit. Like, baby,
yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like, it's just coming off real F them kids kind of. So, and one
So
more thing. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
so it don't matter what I do and don't say on Facebook. I mean, mind you, I haven't been outside. Like the last time I stepped outside, even got a drink or relax was back in February. So I've been, like I said, I don't know what schools you're going to, but I'm in school every day because I don't know if you heard me say, um, I got my externships, my mock exams, my national exam, as well as me getting I'm schooling for my licenses for this new job as well as another one. So I don't know about you, but I am in school every day or doing something pertaining to school. So and yes, whether I do say, outside big boys are or whatever, there is no such thing as big boys za or whatever. Weed is here. Weed is legal here in Ohio. So if I do decide to smoke, I am allowed to smoke because I mean I'm. That's just what I'm going to do. If I do decide to go out, I'm gonna go out. I've been in the house since February 24/7, not a day's break. I've been doing school. So if I do decide I want to go out and drink some wine or really relax and kind of just get my mind off of school for 1 hour, 2 hours, or whatever, I'm very much going to do that because it doesn't say, oh, I'm still not handling business because I decide to step out one time every couple months. I mean, that's like you got your kids, right? You're
Right.
working 3 months or whatever. Boom, you and your man go out on a date night. That's literally the equivalent to whatever I'm doing. So I could
I
say,
mean,
oh, I'm
yeah, but
outside and stuff. And yes,
but I
I'm going.
asked, but I
And
would
yes, I'm
ask,
going to a
that's
studio.
okay. Well, first off, I am in school, but you can do online school and still work too. You can plan your schedule, even if you're in physical school. You can plan your schedule to accommodate your kids and accommodate work as well. And as far as a babysitter, yeah, I would ask my mom to watch my kids if I want to go out that weekend or whoever the case may be. If I don't have my
I'm
mom,
happy
I
you
would
have that
ask
type of thing.
somebody
Like that
else.
support.
I mean, well, you said you had that type of support too because you gave your kids to kinship. You didn't give them to CPS. You had, branches of people to help you. So I would think you had branches of people to help you so you could keep them and still do what you need to do and watch them while you're in school like every day. So I would just think, you could send them over there for the weekend or, whatever it may be. But I'm
Um,
just saying, like, it just seemed like you just kind of like just talking in circles a little, in my
No,
opinion.
here I see where you're thinking and stuff. So let me kind of help clarify some things. So I didn't know, like, okay, when my kids first had kingship, that was when like the state took them from old dude's mom doing all the other shit. That's when they were in kinship. I didn't have kinship now or whatever. I didn't have anybody, no help, no nothing until my video went viral or when I, started getting recognition that night where the people, like I said, I don't know if you were here earlier when I said I was going through so much stuff and some people haven't talked to and heard from in years. So I wasn't thinking about them. So
Right.
just like you said, I could have did this, could that, could have, would have, should have. I didn't know about all that. So what you're saying I could have, would have, should have did, I'm doing that now. I have people who can watch my kids while I can go work. I am in school. As you see, my schedule is now like, a little bit more free that I don't have the kids. But yes, as far as work, school and all that, as you see, I'm trying to get it all done in the same schedule. Why I have that help.
So why did you live stream it? And why did you go to CPS to live stream it if you could have just under the wraps gave them to the other families, without making it a public spectacle, excuse me, not a skeptical, spectacle, because that's kind of what it came out to be like. Why did you record it and put it on live? I felt like that was like an opening for you to get,
Yeah, I do.
seen and things of that nature because now you have the full-time help, but where were they when the kids were with you? Like, why could you not give them to them then? That's it.
Because when I reached out, I didn't get the help I didn't get the help until it was already too late, if that makes sense. And then you want to know why I posted it. So everybody thinks like, oh, I just went to see, I actually took them to the fire station because they have this thing called like a safe haven or safe heaven or whatever it's called, or safe place. I took them to the fire station. We were there for a couple hours. And then from there, because they asked me if I wanted to ride in the cop car or in the ambulance with the kids. I drove my car. I decided to, I chose voluntarily to follow them in my own car. So you're like, oh, well, why did I post it? I didn't post it for attention or anything because like this viralness or whatever, this real life on me, this was accidental viralness. Um, but anyway, I posted it because like I said, I know at that time was my last resort was going to CPS because I already tried the fire station and I already tried calling the cops on myself and stuff prior. So obviously I really didn't have no other choice. So dealing with CPS, I knew that at that moment I was doing my last resort, but I knew they were going to try to like, like dealing with CPS, they just do a whole bunch of fucked up stuff. So when I posted it, when I did it, I just wanted documentation,
Yeah.
So
Okay,
like,
well,
like should they switch it and all this other stuff? Because I was thinking like maybe 30 people was gonna see it or something like that. I wasn't expecting it to go viral. I just wanted like maybe 10 or 13 witnesses or something like that.
yeah.
Who could be like, nah, there's a video and all these people saw it or whatever. I just didn't expect it to go viral. But now instead of that little 20 or 30 people that I wanted to witness it, I now have almost 2 million or maybe even more who now has seen me give my kids to CPS and tell them I'm coming back for my kids regardless of what they're talking about. So it was more so about documentation. And because I did get so much documentation and noticing and stuff like that, it has helped because I have custody of my kids. CPS does not have my kids. They gave that I got my kids back that very night. They never even legally took custody.
Okay, well, I will drop back down. Thank you, ma'am, and thank you as well. I asked my questions. I'll be in the chat.
All right. Misty, one question, child.
Okay, the question that I wanted to ask is, how old is your oldest child?
11.
Okay, can I say something real quick? What I wanted to say is that by you having a choice of whether this is going to work out or not, you do have another choice. There are a lot of people out here that want kids, and you can have open adoption, you can have all those things. Because if you wait until these kids are 13, 14, 15, or 16,
I
they're going
think
to be
she clicked
placed
off.
they're going to be placed in a worse situation.
I think her
Hmm?
phone clicked off. She not there no more. She clicked off. I don't know what happened.
Okay. I was just thinking about like some things you can do. There's a lot of people that want kids, you know what I'm saying? And there are things like open adoption. And if she makes the choice now to try to do something to help these children, with so many people wanting kids, I mean, it just seems as though if you wait, and I'm telling you, I work with teenagers, and if you wait until later, until they actually get taken or something goes on, it gets real bad when they get to be 13, 14, 15, 16, 12 years old. So it just seems as though that if she's got to do this, then she could have an open adoption where she sees the kids. And they could just be in a home where they're in that home with parents that want kids, that can't have them. And they could be in a stable home from here on out. And she could still see her kids. That was the only thing I was going to say. I commend her for giving her kids up like this instead of killing them. Because we got plenty of people out here that are killing their children. Hey, did you hear what I said?
I'm so sorry. My phone ended up dying, but I'm on another phone.
Okay, so what I was gonna say with you saying that you have an 11-year-old, I commend you for giving up your children because there are so many people out here that instead of doing that, they are killing their children. They really are. And I'm not saying you that you're that kind of person, but there is another option. Okay, I want to tell you what the option is. All right, so I work with kids. I work with teenagers. I work with kids. There is plenty of kids because there's plenty of people out here that want children. Okay, you said the oldest was 11. Give it 2 more years and they're going to hate your guts. Okay. I work with teenagers. They're going to hate you. They're going to have all kinds of trauma. It's going to be a mess. You can talk to an adoption agency. Listen to me. You can talk to an agency, talk about open adoption. Find somebody that can love your kids, give them a home, license, cars, all kinds of stuff, which is something that you can't give them, and have an open adoption and find somebody to where you can have the best of both worlds. You can see your kids, but they can have everything that you can't give them, college, whatever. You see what I'm saying? Give them something that they can't have. Love your kids enough to let them go live where somebody that really wants kids, that'll take your kids while they're young enough and turn their life around. Because I guarantee you, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, they're going to hate your guts. So they're going to turn into some kids that are just not what you want. And I'm going to tell you the reason why I know that is because I work with kids that hate you and they run into this trauma, and it's going to be trauma. It's going to be a mess, especially if you have FOB and you can't do what these parents can do that want these kids. But you can have open adoption, choose the parents. That's the thought that I had for you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Misty.
Please think about that because you don't want these kids to turn out bad. You really
Yeah, and
don't.
they really are. you know, good kids, which is why I have placed them where I can openly go see them, and they can provide for them and give them the things that I can't give them right now.
All right, Lee, last question. Make it quick. Make it quick.
Okay, so my question is, and I work here in Ohio, and I work with children's services. It was a lot of things that you said that really did not make sense. But one of the things that you said is that you helped to create your care plan, and you still cannot really articulate what your plan is to get these children back. And I really would like to know, what is the plan that you created? And you're saying that children's services isn't involved, but if children's services isn't involved, there wouldn't be a care plan. So what exactly does that care plan that you created look like?
So let me go back because I'm not exactly sure if you heard. So I don't have an open case with children's services. Children's services is not involved because I did create a care plan before they were able to take custody. So they're not involved at all. Now, the plan that I have is the plan that I'm working on right now which is starting these two jobs, as well as continuing my schooling. The jobs is already really about to come up. Literally just get myself together, stack my money, continue to keep getting money. Just really taking any opportunity that I can, like I said, to financially, you know, better myself as well, for my kids and stuff. But it's really not that hard to go get them. I just got to go get them. I still got custody of them.
Okay, I
I don't
guess
have to
my
go through
confusion is
courts.
just
I
really
don't have
what
to
the
go
plan.
through courts or anything like that. I just got to go pick them up.
Okay, all right, that's it.
All right, thank you, Lee. Amor, is there anything else that you wanted to say in closing?
Well, yeah. So, like, I mean, I know everybody wants to know like my absolutely like step by step plan. I can't exactly say everything right now. Like, I for sure do have a plan, but I cannot tell y'all because like I said, some stuff, like I said, this world is crazy, especially with the backlash and stuff, like they're obviously going to try to stop whatever opportunity comes my way. So, of course, I'm not going to say exactly every plan that I have, but, obviously I am, starting work, in school and stuff. And, like I said, it's okay if you do need help. Like I said, I'm trying to raise awareness for single mothers, what we go through mentally and, how it affects the children, but also raising awareness to where these absent fathers do need to step up because it's not always just the mom, because these men know that they nutted in these women, these men know that they got these kids out here. So y'all really got to stop just looking at the mom and really look at the whole everything. And like I said, I'm not really too much worried about my past because I don't live there no more. I've moved on from a lot of different things. And if you have, I'm not trying to at all inspire, parentless kids, and I'm not trying to, tell people to go give your kids up and stuff without no plan or anything like that. I'm saying if you need that help and you really, if you have to separate yourself from your kids so you can go and give them a better life, do it. I don't even care what nobody talking about. Go ahead and do it. But if you can try to avoid CPS at all costs, like my kids aren't in CPS. I know where my kids are. Go ahead and do it, but I'm not in any way, shape, or form trying to like, oh, go give y'all's kids up and don't have a plan. I have a plan. My plan is, in progress or whatever. So, I don't know. Things are a lot more golden than what y'all thinking. And I can't say I do suck at explaining things, but yeah, it ain't as bad as y'all making it. Don't believe all the narratives online. We chilling over here. My kids, we happy.
Is there anything you want to say to the mother of your baby dad in closing?
Honestly, I hope you do get the healing that you deserve. And if you truly do love your son and you really do want to heal, start by telling his truth. Like I said, the truth can never be a diss. He was a crackhead. It is what it is. I'm not saying it makes his life any less valuable than anybody's. You grieve how you grieve, but you girl, please grow up. And, like I said, it ain't me. If you feel like go talk to the girl in jail. That's who you need to be coming after. You seen her posting me, girl. Like, you so pressed. I don't even feel bad for the chick no more. I'm sorry. Cause like I get, losing a child and all that, but shit, I mean, it's 4 years ago. Some stuff you just got to get over. Like,
All
you
right.
gotta stop coming for me. I don't like you either, girl. But I ain't about to talk about you.
All right. So when can everybody expect your song to drop? The song you just did you get to record it?
So I'm not gonna mention. So I did get to record some of it because literally as I was recording, like, my story is getting out there, but um another artist, a well-known artist, they're thinking about jumping on this song. So it's like, okay, I don't know if they want to do that song or another song. So I was like, dang, maybe I should not drop it tomorrow. So I'm gonna just, maybe give it like 2 more days, and yes, I will be dropping my single into that. Even if you don't like it, it might not be your style, just definitely listen, share. It could be, you never know, it could, be somebody else's jam. But
Okay.
yeah.
And so, from your music career, are you hoping to like become famous with like rapping so you can get money for your kids?
Um, I wouldn't say, just like, cause I mean, I want to use the music as another source. I don't want that to be my main source of income, because everybody knows like the music stuff, like that whole that that stuff is hard. I don't want it to be my main source of income. Excuse me, but I definitely want it to be a part of, what brings money in. Um, this is also just something that I love doing, and my kids also like, they like hearing me make music. They actually like it. So even if I can't be there with them, they they're still around, when I'm trying to work on music and stuff. But this time they probably about to maybe hear mom's, music on YouTube or something.
Somebody in the chat said, can they hear something?
You said what?
Somebody in the chat said, can they hear something like the type of stuff that you do musically, like you bust a rap or like sing or something?
Um, ooh, I don't have it on my what's your name. If you mean like right now trying to do it on the thing, I'm not gonna lie. If y'all, I don't know if y'all noticed, I've been walking back and forth. I'm a little winded right now. But I don't know. Just listen. It is a rough draft. It literally says rough draft. So I did post a rough draft or whatever. You guys can kind of go listen to that. I dib and dab into different genres. So whether it's hip hop, rock, um, all the other genres that's out there, there's a lot to name. I'm dipping and dabbing in everything. I can't say what does and what doesn't work for me completely, because I got some bangers in each genre. But um, just give
Uh,
it give it a
that's
couple days for the song to drop.
What's your
Huh?
sign? What's your sign?
I'm a Scorpio and a Sagittarius. I'm a cusp.
Oh, okay. Alrighty, well, that is all. I hope that you have a smooth transition getting your babies back into your care. And I hope that things work out for you and that you land on your feet to where you're not somewhere in so much uncertainty. I pray that you get the healing that you need, because you have went through so many traumatic experiences that I think, I'm not a medical professional as far as like being a psychiatrist or therapist or anything like that, but just listening to you, I'm just like, it's a lot going on. So I think that you still should actively be, talking and just trying to overall kind of like maneuver those things, and it might be faster that it'll bring you to your children. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that, and I wish you all the best. I wish you much success in what you're doing, and I appreciate you for coming on here as well.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, and I don't want you to feel no type of way. I just started to get, I had a full day today, so like as the story went on, I started to get sleepy. So I apologize if there was times where I kind of like, you know, didn't catch everything you said, because after a while, girl, when I'm tired, I be like, I don't know what she just said.
And it also don't help that
I
I
try to
talk
keep
a
up the best
lot.
I can, but girl, I was getting tired while it was going on.
No, you're fine. Like literally, I talk so much. It can be,
Yeah.
that's how Alex. Look, I might tell you some things you don't want to hear, or you might not like, but Alex ain't about to lie. I talk too fucking. Excuse me. I talk too much for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've had a full day too. In about 5 hours, I will have been up for 24 hours. I woke up at 8 o'clock yesterday morning. So
Yeah, you need to get
I'm
some
all.
rest, girl. Get some rest.
Yeah, it ain't gonna happen because I still got some homework I got to get done like ASAP.
Oh, okay.
But
Somebody
you
said
definitely
music
get your
is not
rest.
interested. It's not. I don't. to y'all perceive my facial expressions, and that's clearly somebody that's new here. Y'all perceive the new people perceive my facial expressions as not being interested. It's not that I'm not interested. It's that like when I am listening to somebody, I just have resting bitch face. Like that's just me. I have resting bitch face because I'm literally listening, trying to keep up with what they're saying. So,
Yeah, I usually have a resting bitch face throughout the day, so you're fine. You're
yeah, that's
fine.
just my face. I be trying to listen, and then sometimes, I get off the trail while I'm trying to listen. I gotta kind of like try to figure out where we were and what did I miss. But yeah, again, try to get some rest. You can't do your homework in the morning. It's the weekend.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, so I got 13 assignments, not because I'm like late or anything. We were literally just assigned 13 horrible, crazy assignments. So they're due before midnight tomorrow. So I want to try to get a head start. Because I'm like, why would you give us 13 assignments? Like, they gave it to us last night, but today's been, as you know, busy. So I haven't had time. So I want to knock most of it down.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for coming on. Get to it. And I hope everything works out for you.
Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
All right. Bye.
Oh, I don't know how to. Oh, never mind.